Welcome everyone to 2017 Blade&Soul Tournament Korea Season 2. We are here for the semifinals and my name is Joseph. Along with me is Ending Life as always.
Yep.
And as I just mentioned, semifinals is now underway.
Yes, it is. Today we start the semifinals as well as tomorrow. And today we only have 4 teams playing today and tomorrow.
Figures it's the semifinals,
Yeah.
so we know how the math works out. But a different thing about Blade&Soul tournaments is that it is a dual tournament format, and it will also apply for the semifinals, where the 4 teams in the semifinals will play their games today. So you will see all 4 teams playing out the games. But tomorrow we will continue on with the second part of the elimination, where we will have the winners match and the losers match of today's matches, of course, to decide the first and second and third place heading into the eventual finals next week.
Yep, and on screen right now we have today's matchup. The semifinal match 1 will be IDEPS versus Unknown. Match 2 will be GC Busan Blue versus Coup d'etat. Who will be the winners?
And it's not the GC Busan Red that we've always expected. We saw them get eliminated by a very least expected team of Unknown. You know, we have a lot of expectation for these guys now because they have surprised us on many occasions, starting from day 1. You know, heading strong game against GC Busan Blue, but also keeping a consistent performance throughout all the way to day 3. So we're just expecting to be surprised by them once again today.
Oh yeah, definitely. Last week, to be honest, when GC Busan Red, got knocked out, I was surprised. I was like, oh, this is a team that should be making it up to the semifinals. However, when I slept on it and thought about it, I am happy that Team Unknown was able to make it because, new teams, they have to be coming up. New players. I love seeing new faces do well.
Yes, that's true. And also the motivation plays a big part in that because,
definitely.
Team Unknown always wanting to prove so much as a rookie team. And, these players, all 3 of them, are not the most well-known players. Of course, we've seen them in a couple occasions before, but they, as players with their own individual careers under the line, they really want to prove themselves. They're really doing a good job with that right now. So let's see, what they can do today.
Oh yeah, definitely. I am very excited to see our first match as well as the second match. But the first match, as we just keep talking about, the new Team Unknown, how will they be performing against IDEPS? We'll have to wait and see. And on screen, we have the events that we'll just, skip by and just talk about. I just want to talk about the first match a little bit more. IDEPS versus Unknown. Like, Sang-ho Kim, the online god, Jung-ho Yoon, the god of, FM, Force Master, Duggan Gang, the old school KFM that made it into, in Worlds to the top 4, top 3 with the KFM, back on his KFM versus Team Unknown.
And the Team Unknown, they have another player named Jung-ho Seo. So that can be a little bit confusing for you guys because we have 2 Jung-hos. They have different last names, so it's not the same people. So you can be aware of that. But the important thing today is that IDEPS versus Unknown, compared to GC Busan Blue and Coup d'etat, it's a totally different side. And we always talk about the power placement, when we go to the semifinals and the brackets. Certain brackets usually have more power than others, and it seems like initially that GC Busan Blue versus Coup d'etat will have the more power going forward.
Oh, definitely.
So, no matter who comes out on this first match, the second match will also be important to see, whether, if you can win the second match between GC Busan Blue and Coup d'etat, will they be the eventual champions? We have to find out.
Oh yeah, definitely. And as you mentioned, the second bracket is the stronger bracket, but we will watch the VCR first.
아 저긴가 보다 저기.
여기야 이거 뒤에 봐라 와저 기현절명 아이가
기어전 전별 아닌데? 아니 미안. 아 나 왜 이렇게 꼬이냐 오늘? 기현 전멸 나왔어. 기현 전멸. 4강에 올라오니까 배경부터가 달라진다고. 위치도 다르고. 봤어. 안녕하세요. 불토비의 NC 장범입니다. 강하게 진출하게 된 아이데스 팀과 인터뷰를 시작하겠습니다. 4강에 올라오게 됐는데 연습을 더 많이 했는지 그게 궁금하네요.
이번 시즌에는 연습을 많이 못했는데 일단 강덕인 선수랑 이제 윤정호 선수가 피드백을 많이 하고 그런 부분에서 이제 보완이 많이 돼서 잘 되는 것 같아요.
그럼 저번보다 연습량이 줄어들었는데 이게 피드백을 많이 해주기 때문에 이긴 것 같은 건가요?
제가 한 일은 별로 없는데 강덕인 선수랑 윤정원 선수가 피드백을 많이 하고 알려주는 게 많다 보니까 그게 잘 된 것 같아요.
윤정호 선수 이번에 개인전을 이기게 됐는데 기분이 어떠신지.
앞서 있었던 경기에서는 개인전을 나갔다가 이제 팀원들한테 되게 미안한 그런 결과를 되게 안겨줬었는데 이번에는 좀 마음을 편안하게 가지고 있었어요. 원래 신겸이랑 혁우는 이제 워낙 친한 동생들이다 보니까 혁우가 저에 대해서 뭐 도발도 많이 했는데
정호 형 아주 자신감이 넘치는데 저한테 상대 전적이 0%시거든요.
뭐 어쩌겠어요. 제가 형이니까 뭐 마음 넓게 이해를 해야지.
그럼 그 도발에 근데 맞서서 얘기를 하셨잖아요.
근데 혁우는 나한테 그런 말 할 처지가 안 되는 게 걔는 뭐 개인전으로 나 이겨봤자 태그에서 많이 터졌거든. 그건 뭐 형이니까 제가 형이니까 마음 넓게 그냥 이해를 하고 그냥 웃으라고 한 얘기죠. 그거는.
상대에게 각오 한마디씩 강덕희 선수부터 해주세요.
재밌는 경기 하고 싶어요. 그냥 욕심이 없어요.
대회는 긴장이라는 변수가 있기 때문에 그 누구도 모른다고 생각을 하거든요. 저희 목표가 4강까지였기 때문에 되게 지금도 충분히 만족스러운데 앞으로 있을 경기에서도 다들 집중해서 그냥 좋은 모습 보여주고 즐겁게 경기했으면 좋겠습니다.
4강 올라오니까 되게 근엄해졌어. 욕심이 생겨서.
아니야, 나는 져도 돼.
피치가 사람을 만든다.
처음에 질게임이었는데
이제 질게임이 아니지. 김상욱 선수 상대팀에게 한마디만 해주세요.
저희가 지금 4강에 올라왔는데 그 한 단계 올라가서 3등 안에는 꼭 들고 싶어요.
4강에 제일 먼저 진출한 아이데스 팀과의 인터뷰였습니다.
뭐야 경치 지리는데?
와 벌써 와.
야 4강 올만하네.
어디 안 좋네.
아 좋네. 야, 4강 하면 또 와야겠고.
그러니까요.
와.
와.
벌써 많이 좋아졌네. 어?
또 나오고 싶어지는데요?
장난 없네.
몇 년째인데 올해 처음이야. 지금부터 4강에 올라온 언노운 팀과의 인터뷰를 시작하겠습니다. 4강에 진출하게 된 소감은 어떠신지 최영훈 선수가 한번 얘기해 주세요.
정호는 학생이고 또 이제 아론 형은 일하고 좀 바쁘다 보니까 연습 시간이 많지 않았는데 이렇게 올라오게 돼가지고 소감은 뭐 아주 뿌듯하고 뭐 서로 다 잘해준 것 같아서 좋은 것 같아요.
난 지난주에 안 좋았는데.
그럴 수 있지.
지난주 경기에서 이대규 선수가 서정훈 선수한테 선봉 나오라고 막 그런 식으로 얘기를 했었는데
한복 나와라잉.
나가셔서 승리를 하게 됐어요. 그 이유에 대해서 한번 얘기 좀 해주세요.
일단 처음에 제가 말렸는데 거기서 긴장을 한 탓인지 실수를 자주 한 거예요. 그래서 아 이건 기회다 해서 이겼어요.
그냥 기회다 해서 했는데 이겼어요?
네.
이대규 선수가 15초 만에 끝낸다고 했었는데 못 끝냈잖아요. 그거에 대해서 어떻게 생각하시는지.
좀 실망했어요.
실망했어요?
네, 또 실망했어요. 점점 더 실망이 이제
이대규 선수는 실망이 끝이 없는 선수네.
많이 딱해 보이더라고요. 네.
IDS가 시즌1에 비해서 많이 변했어요. 그 IDS에 대해서 좀 평가를 해본다면
진짜 연습량이 엄청 많아가지고 그렇게 노력해가지고 올라온 것 같아가지고 두려운 상대가 되지 않을까 하고 있습니다. 개인전에서도 누가 먼저 나가고 누가 나중에 나가고 싸움을 해야 되고 암살전도 잘하는 편이니까 저희 쪽에서는 싸울 수 있는 방식이 많아지고 그쪽에서는 조금 어렵지 않을까 생각이 들어서 우세하다고 생각합니다.
그럼 이제 아이뎁스에 위험한 선수가 있다고 생각하면 어떤 분인지 얘기 좀 해주세요.
윤정호 선수요.
윤정호 선수요?
네.
이번 시즌에 개인전이 제가 알기로는 많이 졌는데 이유가 어떤 이유인지.
최영훈 선수와 경기에서도 피해량 보시면 1.5초 만에 한 2만을 빼거든요, 피를.
최영훈 선수가 경기
그래서 상당히 좀 많이 좋아진 것 같고, 그리고 솔직히 그 한준호 선수가 원래 꿈이 윤정호 선수 이기는 게
맞죠.
그죠?
맞죠.
네, 그만큼 위험한 인물이죠.
저도 그렇게 들어서 그렇게 알고 있습니다. 한준호 선수가 그렇게 윤정호 선수를 잡고 싶다고. 결국엔 꿈을 못 이루고 졌게 되는데 아쉽네요. 아이데스 팀을 상대로 이제 각오 한마디씩.
본선에 올라오기 전부터 많이 연습을 하던 친구들인데 그래도 이왕 올라온 거 꼭 멋있게 꺾고 올라가겠습니다.
대응할 수 없는 전략을 가지고 나와서 이번에 잘 해보도록 하겠습니다.
네, 원래 리바이버만 잡고 떨어지려 했었는데 판타지 소설 같은 일이 일어나서 아이데스를 잡고 판타지 소설의 주인공이 되겠습니다.
그거는 예정돼 있는 거죠.
아 그래요?
지금까지 4강에 진출한 언노운 팀과의 인터뷰였습니다.
I don't know. Personally, I'm really excited for this matchup because you know GC Busan Blue and Coup d'etat, we kind of know what to expect.
Oh yeah.
And we kind of seen these teams in this stages of their tournament before. But IDEPS versus Unknown, we have no idea what to expect because IDEPS at first, you know, they surprised us with a 4-0 sweep against Coup d'etat, and that really is a surprise and impressed us in many ways. But they had such a clean tournament in day 1 and day 2 that we didn't really see much out of them after that. So we really don't know how. You know what their skill cap is right now, but also with Unknown, we've seen a lot of these guys. We already saw a lot of these guys in Season 2. We know they are impressed. They're very impressing, and you know we have to see really, you know, that kind of matchup, trying to see which team can come out on top. But it's gonna be an interesting matchup overall.
Oh yeah, definitely. And for me, like IDEPS, I know all the players. You know, I've seen them play on different teams or in singles. But Unknown is the big surprise that I'm waiting for, because they definitely have something up their sleeve. Against IDEPS, you know, it's going to be a hard matchup for Team Unknown.
Yes.
Looking at the papers, you know, as I always mention, IDEPS, all the players have something great on their resume. Team Unknown, not too much.
Yeah.
Some just they don't have anything on paper.
Yeah.
No record. But that is why. But they made it up to the semifinals.
That's true. And the lack of data is what makes this really interesting because we really don't know what to expect from these guys. And especially with Team Unknowns, which need to have a lot of things to prove. And you saw in the interview that they had that they really do respect IDEPS for all the practice they put in and all the hard work they put in. So, you know, this is going to be a very evenly matched on paper because of the lack of data that we have. But, you know, as the game starts and actually fulfills itself, that we're going to see exactly who the better team is starting from the singles.
Yeah, definitely. And on screen right now, we have the fan, or whatever you want to call it, popular vote.
Prediction chart.
Yeah, the prediction chart. And it was definitely on the IDEP side, but Team Unknown did have 2 digits.
Yes.
So that is a big deal.
That is a big deal for a rookie team, yes.
Yeah.
And the thing about Unknown is, like, we have to see. There's so many things that we don't know yet. And when we go to the singles and we know that this is a best of 7 now, we also didn't mention that it's not a best of 5 anymore. It's going to be a best of 7 to first to the 6 points.
Yeah.
But regarding that, when the best of 5 is usually about each game matters so much, you know, we have the best of 7 where, you know, each match can matter, but not as much because it's more about the momentum that you build in with the consecutive games. And, you know, the momentum is going to play such a big part here. And we see on the first match, it's going to be Jung Ho-yoon versus Aaron Kim. And Aaron Kim is seen to be the leader. And really taking the charge and taking the aggression to the opposite team. And it's going to be a good time for him to prove on the first match, the first singles, to get his team on the momentum.
Yeah, he's a destroyer in real life.
In real life,
he's taking charge. He's taking the front line. You know, he's the tank. So he will be going up against Jung Ho-yoon, the AI. The one that calculates and predicts everything.
And Jung Ho-yoon was set to be the fearful opponent for Unknown, and they have mentioned his name. But, you know, going up against the first singles, we have to find out which team will come out on top and pick up the first victory in our first match of the day between IDEPS and Unknown. Let's get it underway. And welcome to the first match between IDEPS and Unknown. We have Jung Ho-yoon on the Force Master and Aaron Kim on his usual Destroyer. And this will be the best of 7s starting from today. And we have to see which team can pick up the first part of the momentum. But they do go into aerial, both of them. Tries to get an initial attack in, but neither coming from both sides.
All right, Aaron is able to pull him in and grab him on top of his Ember Stomp.
So he gets the Ember Stomp on and try to use that to good effect. But Aaron Kim is actually excluded of his escape. And regardless of whether he has to escape or not, he will go in aggressively, and that is his playstyle that we've learned to know.
All right, Aaron Kim using his second win, both of them. He uses persistence and his tab escape. So now he's out, but a destroyer always has the spin, the vortex, and the typhoon. So it'll be all right. And there we go with the aerial.
Oh, it brings him down with the damage. Actually, pretty good damage going on to Jung Ho-yoon. Jung Ho-yoon has to be forced to use his second wind out, but he does get pretty consistent damage and more damage onto Aaron Kim. Now gets him into the aerial.
Double aerial.
Bad. He does get into the area, and once he comes back in, he will be trying to look at that escape, but second aerial.
The back roll chase!
He takes a lot of damage out before Aaron Kim is forcibly used. He tries to use the Ember Stomp to try to heal some of his back, but he does get into the... trying to get it into the grip and see what he can do with it, but we know that Aaron Kim, lacking his escapes, is looking very disadvantageous right now. It is actually done a first quick match for IDEPS, and IDEPS showing the same type of composure they did in day one against Coup d'etat. And Coup d'etat, knowing they were going to be the favorites, they were swept by IDEPS in 4-0, but right now, IDEPS are showing very strong performance against the hot unknown that has been performing very consistently.
Yeah, definitely. And the moment the turnover was when Jung Ho-yoon used his tab escape and was able to knock back the destroyer Aaron Kim.
Right.
And then that's when Aaron Kim was out of both of his escapes and was able to do tons of damage. It's right now. So he's already been knocked back by Jung Ho-yoon's tab escape, and he's gonna take a lot of damage into the double aerial, and then he's gonna do a back roll, and Jung Ho-yoon is definitely not gonna miss the back roll chase, doing more damage right now. And it's already done by this time.
And it seems like when we saw that first consecutive damage by Jung Ho-yoon, we saw that the second wind has been out for, it was on cooldown for the last 3 seconds. But once he got it back, he was already in the aerial, so he had nothing to do with that. And then continue on with that second aerial, he just didn't have much to do.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. It was, how should I put this? It was well played by Jung Ho-yoon, but Aaron was too arrogant, I guess, because he should have expected Jung Ho-yoon to use his tab escape, and Aaron should have backed away or dodged, maybe use a Searing Strike to negate the knockback from the tab escape. However, he just got hit by his second wind, and that was, the downfall of Aaron. And for the second matchup, we have Sang-ho Kim on the Assassin, and Jung Ho-seo, not Jung Ho-yoon, Jung Ho-seo on the Blade Dancer.
And we have to see whether the first match, it was a very clean sweep by IDEPS in general. But Aaron Kim trying to be the leader for his team, putting the aggression. He put the aggression, but to the no effect. And actually, that's going to end in a loss for Team Unknown, and we have to see how that affects team match number 2 with the second singles. Trying to bring his team back because, although we say that it is less important for match per match, it is a momentum thing that you have to bring back to your side. But we'll have to see whether they can bring it back, because right now in the second singles, Team Unknown is going to be looking for a win to bring their team back. But let's get the second match underway. And we are here for match 2, another singles. This time between Sang-ho Kim on the Assassin and Jung Ho-seo on the Blade Dancer. The first match ended in a pretty quick victory for IDES. We're going to see if they can get another one here.
Sang-ho Kim already using his stealth, put down the flower, goes aggressive. Yes, he lands that.
Gets the stun and all to the webbing. And another stun, but he doesn't use a second wind for now. Jung Ho-seo is still trying to save that. I don't know if that was a good choice because he took a lot of damage by saving the second wind.
Yeah, but I think it was a good choice because he wanted to take out, Sang-ho Kim's CCs, and if he wanted to use his second wind in the middle of that, he will get CC'd afterwards, and he won't have any escape to escape from, and he'll get 100-0'd. But he is in the area right now.
Sang-ho Kim, regardless of whether he has to escape or not, he is going in aggressively and putting in damage, taking no damage in exchange. And IDES, we want to commentate on this, but right now, that is not enough damage for us to commentate on the fairway, but that's actually going to make a difference on the lightning draw onto Sang-ho Kim, and it's getting to the second aerial. Sang-ho Kim, right now, he has no second wind that he can get out of once he gets back down. But right now, he's on the ground right now trying to do something, but Jung Ho-seo actually getting very good counter damage onto Sang-ho Kim.
All right, Sang-ho Kim's flower is going to be running out soon, so if that runs out, he won't have his tab escape. either. There we go. He uses his flower, so he's out of escape for another 10 seconds. So if he gets CC'd, he is done for, Sang-Ho Kim. But Jung-Ho Seo has his tab escape and his flock of blades, so Jung-Ho Seo does have the upper hand right now. But Sang-Ho Kim does get his stealth back now, so maybe a little bit more slack on Sang-Ho Kim's side regarding the health bar.
And again, Sang-Ho Kim does get some of the HP back, but what I was back to saying what I was earlier, but I was kind of having a lot of faith in Team Unknown because of the consistency they showed in this tournament. But right now, just losing the first match in such a unconvincing fashion and almost losing the second match already. But it seems like Jung-Ho Seo has a statement to make, and when does he can do that?
Yeah, okay, there was a tab escape. Sang-Ho Kim was able to dodge that knockback, puts down the flower, so Sang-Ho Kim definitely has the upper hand, having both of his escapes. But if Jung-Ho Seo is able to somehow get Sang-Ho Kim into the aerial and land the lightning draw with the crit, he just might have a chance.
And we can see that Jung-Ho Seo only has his back roll available. He doesn't have the second win, so he's going to have to play careful while at the same time not trying to take damage at this. But he does get some of his HP back. And Sang-Ho Kim, with the next 5 seconds, he's going to try to make a play, which he does try.
All right, 2 seconds. All right, Jung-Ho Seo does get his second win back, his tab escape, so they both have their tab escapes. Now, it's a matter of who lands the CC or who lands that aerial first.
And it's very true. They have only 50 seconds remaining of the match, but Jung-Ho Seo is on the very slimmest of health right now.
Jung-Ho Seo just used his tab escape, so now he has to make something out of it, and he
last
does.
5 seconds. I wonder if we're going to go to TKO, go to the damage. That is enough damage to finish it off in this last milliseconds of the game.
Wow.
What happened there? He is you can see right now, Sang-Ho Kim is in disbelief of what happened. I'm sure he was going to try to go for the TKO, go to the damage shot, which I think he had the upper hand on. And right now, oh my goodness, Jung-Ho Seo finishing him out from approximately 40% health all the way down in a matter of seconds.
I'm speechless right now.
Now this is getting us hyped. This is what we needed. This is what we needed to get the SemiFinal going.
No, I'm too hyped.
That you lost what you were going to say.
No, not what I'm going to say. I just don't want to say anything. I just want to watch the replay right now.
Hey, the viewers can decide for themselves.
I don't even have to explain. Just
look
watch
at
that. Yeah, he does get the arrow. He lands the lightning draw, gets some damage in. He uses stealth. Back and forth, trading their escapes. It was a very standard game. Up to 0.4 seconds left.
Yeah, literally milliseconds before the game is enough damage for Jung-Ho Seo to get his victory without going to TKO. And
let's go.
And this is where it is. Oh my! Lightning draw into the full combo.
Lightning draw Sunder to death. That was just... Sang-Ho Kim definitely didn't expect it. He was probably saying, let's just hold it out. I did get CC'd, but we'll go to the TKO.
Sure.
I'll probably win.
Yeah, and we were expecting that too because I know Team Unknown, we always talk about the consistency because they have been consistent. Even in their first day when they lost against GT Busan Blue, they took them to TKO, which was something that nobody really expected from them. But right now, coming into the semifinals, they have disappointed for the first match. And I was just wondering, are they going to just disappoint for the second match and just call it a day for Team Unknown and just get the loss out of the way? But that's not the case because Jung-Ho Seo, he has a different mind on this game right now.
All right, definitely. And now we are ready for our tag match, third match of the day, or the third set of the first match. Yes, it is worth 2 points. So tag team matches are worth 2 points, singles are worth 1 point, except for the last tag match, the 7th. If it goes to that, it will be worth 3 points. So right now, it's 1-1. So whoever wins this will be up 2 points.
And the thing is, this best of 7 is all about getting to the first team to get to 6 points is the winner of the semifinals. And the best of 7 will decide, who makes it up to the finals. Eventually, we're gonna find out the final results tomorrow. But right now, each match is very important because their final spot is on the line.
Oh, definitely. And making up one more rank, it's big difference amount in reward money as well.
Hey, it's all about that money. It's all about that money. And the players, they have fame to protect. They have pride to protect. And as for Team Unknown, they have a pride to protect. They have something else to protect. And that is their momentum. Because right now, we're going to move on to the tag match to see whether they can keep up this momentum. They shifted in game 2. Let's head on to the tag match. here we are for the first tag match of the day between IDEPS and Unknown. And whether it was looking like it was going to be a one-side traffic for IDEPS, Unknown brings us back to 1-1. So it's even now going into this tag match.
Yeah, we have Sang-ho Kim and Young-hoon Che both on the Assassin.
An Assassin mirror match is always fun to watch because the one crucial CC can change everything for these guys.
And he is doing the breath.
Poison breath getting good damage on
going
the
back and forth with the breath. He's like, you breathed on me.
Who can breathe harder? And that is a question, but it gets him into the aerial, and Sang Kim does take some damage off of that. Gets some defensive interference, actually offensive interference from Aaron Kim in the side of Unknown.
Nothing too much happens, but Sang Kim is out of his stealth, and there we go, the offensive. Interfere comes in.
And Young-hoon Che is out of his second win. Does get him into the stun, into the area on the Sang Kim. Right now, the interference is forced on the side of IDEPS, but we have to see that's enough damage right now for Sang Kim to be a little more careful right here.
Yep, and Young-hoon Che is out of both escapes, which means if he does get CC'd and he gets out of it, or even now, he should tag out, but he does want to play it aggressive. He gets knocked down, so he's going to be taking a lot of damage.
That's the interference coming in, but gets nothing from it. But Young-hoon Che, considering he was up in the early stages of the game, he's out of his escapes, and it's also even in HP with Sang Kim.
Yeah, what happened there was that defensive interference came in, and Sang Kim was able to land that double Shadow Slash, knocking them both down, making Unknown waste an interfere point, and we have 8 seconds left until both of them are forced tagged out.
But right now, Sang Kim on the stun, forced to use it, but right now he's gonna be tagged out along with Young-hoon Che. Both players are first tagged out, and Dugin Kang from KFM on the Jungle Cell on the Blade Dancer coming up for both sides.
All right, into the aerial, the defensive interfere comes in from IDEPS, but nothing is happening. Jungle Cell is just having his way, phantom gripping aerials by himself, doing a 2v1 very smooth.
Oh, gets the stun, but does save his second win until now. He uses it now, but Jung Woo-seo playing very consistently, not taking that much damage from Dugin Kang, but trying to gets him into the area, and Dugin Kang is in the area taking damage, but there's no way to go away. Lightning draw is coming. That is a lot of damage coming into Dugin Kang. Right now, he does use the second win to get out of there, but right now, Jung Woo-seo had a huge advantage.
All right, Dugin Kang well played. He lands the tab escape knockback, and he forces a defensive interfere, which he dazes both of them again.
Yes.
So basically, Unknown wasted another interfere point, coming in as a defensive interfere, but unable to do anything.
And whether this goes to the late part of the match, we have to see, because the interfere points, with the limited amount they have, is going to be important, making the crucial plays for both teams. But right now, Dugin Kang not really doing anything, but Aaron Kim is tagged in. Actually trying to get damage into him, but right now on Typhoon coming in for an interference on both sides, a reactionary from IDEPS. Just getting what can do with that, but Sang Kim does come back in, and he does have all of his escapes right now.
Yep, it was definitely the right choice for Dugin Kang to tag out, because he was out of his escapes. He was going to get CC'd again, and he would have died. So, Sang Kim coming in, he has 2 tag points.
And Aaron Kim looking very comfortably right now. He does have his second win available, but his other escapes are on cooldown at the moment. Let's get into the mine, onto the poison breath. But right now, Sang Kim trying to show Aaron Kim who's boss right now onto the webbing. But right now, Aaron Kim, starting from game 1, he's not showing the same type of composure he showed in previous days.
Yep, Aaron Kim decides to use his tab escape, come out, put down the Ember Stomp, but is unable to make anything out of it, so he tags out, but he does get chased right away.
Good chase from Sang Kim, but right now Young-hoon Che coming back out on the Assassin. He didn't perform when his first showing at the tag match right now, along with Jung Woo-seo, who has been performing, but Jung Woo-seo actually comes out on the Force Master, but is knocked up into the aerial, with forcing an interference from both sides right now.
Alright, the lightning draw is used. Nothing too
The
much is happening.
coming in,
2v2
reactionary.
Okay, Young-hoon Che is gonna get his tab escape back, and he does. He did take out the leaf for his escape, his secondary escape, so he has to be, looking for that opportunity to do that burst damage.
And Young-hoon Che does get both of his escapes back available, but Jung Woo-seo ultimate getting nothing, except the fact that the field looks so prettier now.
It looks pretty.
Yeah, so that's a plus for him, but doesn't get a plus for his team. Does freeze himself, trying to get that defensive play going, but right now Youngwon Che with the slimmest of health, he does have escape, but he still needs to be careful. He doesn't want to be knocked out right here.
Yeah, usually, like, I would get hyped for ults, but that ult was just not hyped enough.
Hey, the field looks pretty, so that's all that matters. But right now, Jungwon Hyun trying to get a play onto him, but right now, Youngwon Che does tag out in time before he is taking enough damage to die.
Offensive interference coming in. Amber Storm is put down. Sang-ho Kim is tagged in, trying to make something out of this, but nothing is happening. Aaron Kim is healing up. Oh, there we go. Aaron Kim uses his ult and forces Sang-ho Kim to use his flower to escape out of the ult.
But Sang-ho Kim right now does have a second wind available, but Aaron Kim going with the Typhoon, trying to make something happen. He has to show more from this match, because right now he will be the key factor in whether Team Unknown can have a performance that they want, but actually getting good damage onto Sang-ho Kim right now. Aaron Kim taking no damage, forcing the interference out. Takes a little bit of damage, but escapes out from both sides right now.
All right, Aaron Kim just got his escape back, and he had to use it right away. Sang-ho Kim got his flower back, his secondary escape. He puts down the flower, so he wants to make a move before that flower runs out, and there we go with the body swap. But Destroyer is in Super Saiyan mode.
Super Saiyan mode indeed, because Aaron
Stone
Kim
armor
on the Ember Storm did heal much of his health back. So right now, on the next 5 seconds, with Sang-ho Kim is going to have his cooldown back on the escape, but Sang-ho Kim on the Aaron Kim actually trying to go in with damage on that, but going both sides for damage, but nothing really coming yet. And they do both have escapes available now.
Yep, they are trading, but the body swap is happening, and Aaron Kim is forced to use his tab escape right away. Now is the time to make them waste interference points. IDEPS, come on.
But 8 seconds is all Aaron Kim needs, because regardless of his escape, he will be force tagged out. And I think he might be wanting that, because right now the lack of escape will be put him at a disadvantage. But no chase coming from Jung-ho Seo right now, coming back out on the blade dance. He has been the most consistent performer so far for Unknown.
All right, Sang-ho Kim is going to be tagged out. Why is he so close? He's going to get chased. Yeah, he got chased, so he has to use his tab escape right away when Jung-ho Yoon comes in.
Oh, what a waste.
He should have just stayed back. Let Jung-ho Yoon come in safely.
That was not the best positioning for the tag out, but Jung-ho Yoon, of course, gets his health back.
Frost armor is hit. You don't want to hit a Force Master when he's in Frost armor. He gets health back.
He's back to full health, but right now he is forced to tag out because he was out of all of his escape. And Duncan Count with all of his escape does come back in.
Oh no. All right, so everybody 30 seconds ago at the 3-minute mark, they got one interfere points back.
Oh, Aaron Kim with a good interfere.
offensive.
He makes a good use out of the interfere off of that, getting good damage onto him.
All right, there we go. They all have their escapes. Bombardment is coming out.
And Youngwon Che, slimmest of hell, one mistake, crucially making him land down for the blade. That's her ultimate.
Not landing. Duncan Kang also used his ultimate as well. None of the ults landing today.
That's just, I think both sides are trying to play careful because they know how important these games might be. But Youngwon Che...
Ooh, he's doing a split right there.
But Youngwon Che, with all of his escapes gone, is forced to tag out onto Aaron Kim.
All right, the back roll chase is happening, but he is frozen. Saved by his teammate, Jung-ho Yoon. What he does best.
But right now, nothing really coming out of the interfere because that 5 second is gone. But right now, Aaron Kim having all of his escape available, and very healthy as the destroyer that he is, he's kind of have to go for some plays right now.
All right, so Aaron Kim, very smart. He's trying to play a mind game. He did spec into Fury because he knows this is the end game.
Yes.
So he wants to do as much damage as he can. And now they know he has the Fury build.
And now Aaron Kim is forcing Jung-ho Yoon to come up onto the area, forcing the interference, offensive interference from Youngwon Che. Getting nothing from him because he is frozen.
Jung-ho Yoon is ulting again!
Oh!
And he is getting slowed.
Oh,
he is getting slowed.
Gets a good part of it, but Aaron Kim makes something out of this action. Meteor coming down, full hit onto Aaron Kim. Now he is force tagged out onto Jung-ho Seo. That was the big hype of the day, though, to the lightning jaw, going damage on both sides, and the aerial. This is getting exciting now.
All right, all of them is out of tab escapes. Oh my God, so much damage. Jung-ho Yoon, you don't want to get out. Use it, Frost armor.
Yes, it. He has the escape available, but he couldn't use it because he was in the area. But Jung-ho Seo right now. Oh, he's trying to get the game going right now.
All right, the offensive interference comes in from IDEPS, but nothing happens. The Rising Dragon does land, forcing him to... Oh, the land!
Will that be enough to tag out Jung-ho Seo? He can't tag out. They're out of tag points. So right now,
it's just gonna be 1v1s until force tags happen.
It's true, and 10 seconds is all they have left.
Oh my God.
The damage chart is very difficult to predict because the last few set of damage coming from the meteor and also from Team Unknown, it's gonna be very hard to decide. It is over now, and we're gonna go to the damage chart to see who gets the TKO, but it's really hard to decide who the higher damage was.
I'm very confused because right now,
man. Oh, it is gonna be iDevs picking out on the TKO.
that was definitely at the end when they were able to kill Jungho Seo, because if that didn't happen, I was actually contemplating, because Jungho Yoon in his frost armor got a lot of health, healed back a lot. So the health bar, iDevs definitely had the upper hand with the health bar, but they definitely had a lot of heals. But that also goes into damage for the opponent. So I was thinking, if Jungho Seo at the end, the Blade Dancer, didn't die, didn't get bursted down, Team Unknown had a chance to, go down to a TKO and take the victory. But at the end, maybe like 10 to 20 seconds left, where Jungho Seo was, bursted down to death. That was the difference.
And most of the damage did come near the end, near the last 20 seconds, as you mentioned. Because right now, as undecided as we were about the damage chart, we saw that it was very close at the end on the TKO.
So even at this point right now, Jungho Yoon is at full health, but to be honest, he should be at like 30% health. He just healed up from Frost Armor. So, the health bar is just an illusion.
And considering that you said the damage does still matter, and that meteor was the biggest turnout of events, and this was where the real damage happened. Pity that it happened only in the last few minutes, but right now we can see how damage was equally traded on both sides. But we saw near the end right here, around 20 seconds, this is right now. This is where he takes enough damage to kill out Jungho Seo, who has been performing really well, but regarding not having the tags and not having the escapes, he couldn't do nothing about it.
Yeah, so starting the 1 minute point, except for Dougie Kang, Sang-Ho Kim, none of the 5 players had tags. So tags you don't get back, even the countdown happens. So like interference points for the new viewers, you do get 1 interference point at the 3 minute mark, and you get another one at the 1 minute mark. However, you don't get the tag points. So each player only starts and ends with 2 tag points. So depending on how many times you use your tag, or how many times you save your tag by being force tagged out and not getting chased, that's going to decide what's going to happen in the late game. And that just showed right now that in the late game, iDevs is a stronger 1v1 because they were able to burst down and do a lot of damage at the end when it mattered.
And iDevs has to prove right here once again that they are stronger in the 1v1, because we're going to go back to another singles in match number 4. And we're 3-1 ahead for iDevs is a looking good sign for Team iDevs, but Unknown, I know they have much more to prove than this. Because although iDevs was a strong side that blew out Coup d'etat 4-0, I know that Unknown, seeing them in the past few days that we've casted, we know that Unknown is a very strong team regardless of the game values that they have.
Definitely. All right, it sounds like the music changed. So we will be getting into the set 4 of match 1 today, singles. Again, let's get into the match.
And we are on to the 4th match of the day. And it seems like 3-1 iDevs seems like a big difference, but they still need 3 more points to clinch their win.
Yep, definitely. It's best to the first team to 0.6. And right now we are back to singles, which is worth 1 point.
So each match does matter, and especially for Team Unknown.
All right, the Rising Dragon landing forces Youngwon Che to use his Lotus of Escape.
Right now, Youngwon Che still has a second escape. He's got to try to go in aggressively, which he does, into the area onto Dougie Kang.
All right, so this is going to definitely make Dougie Kang use his tab escape after his CCs are done. So 1 more CC, then Dougie Kang will use his tab escape.
Combo, and it's going on Rampart!
All right, so he does use the Ice Mine into the back row. Dougie Kang does smartly save. Yeah. He saves his tab escape, but now he is used, and the knockback does connect. The back row doesn't. He doesn't chase. He's unable to chase.
How do you rate that use of second escape? Could he have used it earlier to negate some of that damage?
Well, it is smart that he used it. He saved it. Now he is able to do a lot of damage because Young Chae's out of a lot of CCs, and he does a re-knock up. One more smite, maybe? One more smite? All right, just a knockdown.
Young Chae trying to save his second win as much as possible because he knows how ahead he is right now. Young Chae trying to see what he can do with
the triple
this.
kick lands! Stunning him into the aerial! This is gonna be another aerial. Oh,
actually getting a good start onto him and actually into the aerial. Duggan Kong taking considerable amount of damage, but Young Chae trying to finish on. He still has the second escape, whereas Duggan Kong doesn't have it. And that is enough damage to bring Unknown back. One more point, now it's 3-2, and now it's looking much closer.
Yeah, it is definitely getting so close. We might be going to match 7 today, because usually, you know, if one team has the momentum, they usually finish it up at set 6. However, this time around, they are just going back and forth.
And kudos to both teams for not letting the momentum affect them in a negative way, because, you know, if you lose a couple of matches in a row and just being down 3-1 in general can be a disheartening thing. But right now, we can see Unknown, they don't care about anything at this point, they just want the win.
Yep, alright, so right now, Duggan Kang saving his tab escape is a regular move.
Very
you want to let your opponent use all of the CCs or as much CCs as you can and then tab escape out, but he saves it and he is able to land the tab escape later, and right now, Rising Dragon lands, you know, puts him in the aerial, another aerial. This is what the KFM is all about. Constant CCs, constant aerials. However, when you're out of tab escape against an assassin, your secondary escape, which is the Emit Frost, is useless because, you know, assassin's not going to grab you. It's not going to fan and grip because they don't have that skill.
And Duggan Kong did a considerable amount of job trying to put that counter damage in after he took the considerable amount of damage. But that early damage that he took, which was an extreme amount, may have affected him in the singles match, which he eventually lost. But we're going to go back into set 5, which is going to be another singles, this time with Jungho Yoon, who won the first match on the Force Masters, back out against Young Chae, coming out again.
Alright, so Jungho Yoon last year is, well, Jungho Yoon's Force Master is just well known, period.
Yes.
But he is super well known, uber well known against an assassin for being the most annoying nuisance in Blade and Soul.
And
Two assassins.
And I've talked to many players, you know, before this match started, and they talk about Force Masters. They talk about right now in this current meta that they are playing in, Force Masters are the one that is tough to beat. And just with the current strength level that it has, and we saw Jungho Yoon doing a spectacular amount of job in the first match and also in the tag match. Whether he can continue on with this, we have to find out, because we'll be going to the next singles with IDEPS currently up 3-2. Let's get to the match. Fifth match begins with another single. This is going to be our last singles of this series before we move on to the series of tags. But right now, Jungho Yoon, who won the first match in his singles with the Force Master, is going to be looking to do that again against Young Chae.
Yep, Young Chae coming out twice in a row, so this is the 5th match.
Young Chae actually getting him into the aerial, onto the webbing, trying to see what he can do with it. Does get one of his escape out from Jungho Yoon.
Jungho Yoon gets it back. He's used that back
roll,
escape. The backstep escape, he gets it back. The tab escape is used by Jungho Yoon right now.
But Young Chae doing a good job of forcing that tab escape to gi out out of Jungho Yoon. But right now,
Ice Burst happens, freezes us. This is what I'm talking about. Like ever since Jungho Yoon's he's always been a Force Master, and when he goes up against assassins could never ever could do their full combo, not even like 50% of their combo, because Jungho Yoon always freezes the assassin, or oh my god,
actually still getting damage onto Young Chae. Young Chae can't do nothing about it onto the grip.
Alright, so he is forced to use his stealth out because he doesn't want to be fan and gripped in that meteor storm. So he does use his tab escape out.
Ooh, Yeon Chae, he probably did have the information that assassins do struggle against Jung Ho-yoon's Force Master, but he can ignore that information because he is taking a considerable amount of damage, and anything is going to be done. They're just the same skill over and over again to finish him off. What a nuisance to the assassin.
Yeah, definitely. And this is, to be honest, I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
This matchup, just not because it's Jung Ho-yoon or well, actually, yeah, it is because of Jung Ho-yoon's Force Master.
Sure.
Versus just because it was Jung Ho-yoon's Force Master against any assassin, even if it was Jin Yu Park or Sang Kim or Young Chae or whose assassin it may have been, it would have been a similar or predictable outcome because Jung Ho-yoon, like I said before, is famous for annoying or beating
against assassins.
Yeah, like look at this. This is just torture. It's like,
I would have bashed my keyboard at this point already.
Yeah, I know. Like,
holy moly, that is just damage that he cannot counter back on Jung Ho-yoon.
Yeah, the non-stop impact into the glacial beam impact.
That's
the dragon
so
flare.
annoying.
Oh gosh, like when that happens, especially if you're out of all of your escapes.
Yeah.
Regardless of what class you are, you're done. Well, maybe a Destroyer could Vortex out or a Typhoon out, even though they don't have an escape. So, yeah, cancel out the Destroyer. But if you're any other class, then you don't have an escape, you're just gonna keep impacting, getting pushed back. Dragon Flare, Inferno if he has any cooldown. So it's just non-stop, and you don't want to give a Force Master that chance to do that combo.
And right now, IDEPS is up 4-2, so getting this tag match, which is going to be worth 2 points. If they do win this one, it will be the end of the series.
Oh, yeah.
But, Unknown, they're not going to end it here. They're going to try to bring this back to even so they can go to the last tag match to decide it all. But Yeon Chae, considering his momentum, he was trying to go for that singles consecutively and try to get the win, but against the mismatch, on that matchup, then it just wasn't gonna work out. And Yeon Chae probably notices that now, and he's gonna look towards a more smarter play, especially more smarter positioning, heading into this tag match because they're gonna need this win to bring them back into the series.
Yep, definitely, and they all look on Unknown's side, very serious faces on because they have to win this match, the tag match, to even it up 4-4. Let's see who will take the victory in the next set.
We are here for potentially the last match of the series between IDEPS and Unknown. If IDEPS can get a win here, they will close out the series with a 6-2 victory. But Unknown, they're going to try to look for a victory so they can bring it back to even.
Yep, definitely. And I just remembered, whoever wins and whoever loses, they're going to have a hard time tomorrow against Coup d'etat or GC Busan Blue. So, if it's going to be a hard match anyways, why not try to take the victory, right?
Well, being in the finals itself is a glorious moment for any of these teams.
Yeah.
And, no matter who they're going to face and knowing they're going to be tough opponents anyway, first of all, IDEPS has no fear because they beat Coup d'etat in the first day 4-0. They're not going to be afraid of Coup d'etat if they make it up to the finals. But you're reasonable. Your explanations are very reasonable because they are the stronger teams coming into this tournament.
Yeah.
But right now, Unknown, not even worrying about that. They have to get this win on this tag match to bring their series back.
All right, Yeon Chae just recently used his stealth, but Sang Kim gets his stealth back because he used it super early in the game. So now he does have the upper hand because Yeon Chae is out of both escapes, which means he's either gonna just take a lot of damage or has to use his tag
on the bombard and actually get good damage onto Yeon Chae. I wonder if Yeon Chae is gonna use the tag anytime soon because he's out of all of his escapes and he has very little health to work with.
All right, the defensive interference comes in. Not too much happens. Yeon Chae does get back, but he should be tagging
out. He should be tagging out. I don't know why he is staying this long right now. Oh, but actually, good interference coming in from Aaron Kim. Incredible amount of damage onto Jung Ho. I don't think he expected it. He's actually the one to be forced tagged out.
Oh
no! The Meteor!
All right, good choice, yes. You only had 4 seconds left for the force tag, but you wouldn't have lasted that 4 seconds. So good thing that you used that tag.
Good investment of tag. I know they would have wanted to hold it for the last 4 seconds because they would have got a free tag out. But saving that 4 seconds for a death would not have been worth it.
Oh, definitely not when you have 3 interfere points left still.
Oh, man.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to die out like that. And plus, on IDAP's side, Sang-ho Kim already used his tag, so basically it's kind of even. So they, you know, it's not a loss right now.
And interfere does come in from both sides. Trying to do Aaron Kim. I don't know about his singles play, but his interferes have been amazing.
Wow. Forcing Jungho use his
my
tag
goodness.
too.
Aaron Kim, is he the master interferer? Can we call him that?
Master interferer.
Oh my goodness, Aaron Kim does come out. This is his match right now. He's on a good form in this tag match already, but right now he's already forced to use his tab escape. But right now, Aaron Kim, with his momentum, he has to bring his team back to victory right now.
But it's definitely not looking good because his team is out, like very low on health, both of them, except for Aaron Kim. But he is out of both escapes, so he does not want to get CC'd because if his teammate comes in for a defensive interfere and takes the wrong damage, then they might get knocked out. So Aaron Kim wants to just wait and buy time.
And all he can do, Aaron Kim, is use the Amber Stomp to hopefully bring some of his health back and try to stay healthy as long as his teammates does get some of their health back. But we know that Aaron Kim is not the kind to just stay back and watch the game fold out.
All right, the persistence is used into the area, but nothing happens. Nothing happens. And Duggan Kang before, when he got grappled,
yes,
he uses
my
frost,
goodness.
and he just used his tab escape.
Duggan Kang is out of all of his escapes right now with the back row coming back in 2 seconds. But regardless of all of this, Duggan Kang hasn't shown anything in today's series today.
Don't give him too much smack.
Ah, man. I just want to see more.
Yeah, like Duggan Kang's KFM is one of the top KFMs in Korea. So we have to wait for it because it's only been a couple minutes into the match.
But we have to see, but 3 seconds until he's force tagged out, but Aaron Kim trying to put in as much damage until he's force tagged out onto the chase. Actually, good gets a little bit of damage after Sang-ho Kim, and Sang-ho Kim is already forced to use his tab escape. Aaron Kim will be force tagged out, which will be happy to get out with the force tag.
Comes in.
And the chase! That's enough damage to finish him
off!
Oh
my gosh!
A wonderful chase up to from Sang-ho Kim, finishing off as soon as he enters the scene.
I'm gonna be honest.
Oh my goodness!
Aaron Kim is playing very well. However, just now that force tag, the ult is proc. Nothing too much happens.
But as you're saying,
to continue, Aaron Kim should have backed away because he should have
known just clean combo. Oh my goodness, Aaron Kim! He is continuing to impress us in so many ways. Even with his teammate down, he does not lose his composure. And he continues to put in enough damage to help his team get back into the fight.
Oh my god, my voice. I'm going to lose the voice.
It's worth it, though. It's worth it because Aaron King is playing out of his mind with the interfere, the most damage we've seen from interferes in a long time. And he's actually doing very well on his actual matches as well.
All right, Youngwon comes in with very low health and he gets ulti!
This is bad decision. That's a terrible.
Duggan King ultis him to death.
That was a terrible decision by Team Unknown. Knowing they had very little HP to work with, but considering the amount of distance they gave, that was such a bad play by Team Unknown to now be 2-man down in this last series potentially for Unknown.
Oh my gosh, unfortunately a 3v1, especially when you're a destroyer, it is very highly unlikely. And you know, if your assassin is down on your team, the damage chart, you're gonna slowly fall behind. So regardless of how well Aaron Kim played, and I want to continue what I was saying before about Aaron Kim. He played well all over.
That's actually gonna be it.
Like it was.
But continue on with what you're saying.
So Aaron Kim played so well, like 90% of the time he played well, but that 10% is where when he was gonna be force tagged out.
Distancing.
Yes, the distancing, because he should have known that both of his teammates were very low on health, so he should have distanced himself away from the opponent so his teammate, when he's force tagged out, doesn't get chased. But he was just playing so aggressive that he was right in front of the opponent, and when he got force tagged out, that's when Jungho Seo came in and just died.
I'm telling you, we've
that
seen
started that snowballing.
It's true, and we've seen from day one that Aaron Kim, this guy has no break. He's all about the accelerator. He's moving forward, and he does not retreat back. He doesn't care if he doesn't have any escape. He will go in aggressively, and that is the worst case scenario of that type of specific team play. Where, you know, if you do that kind of aggressiveness when your teammate is going to be force tagged in, that's going to be the doom for Team Unknown.
Right,
how unfortunate.
So, yeah, And right now, this is an early game, like not too much. They do just go back and forth, sharing damage. The tag and the interference points are pretty even out until I just want to talk about, so right now, 9 seconds left for the force tag. So this is when, okay, they just, right now.
Yeah.
So like, right now, when he was gonna get force tagged out, he could have typhooned out away.
Look at all that he does though. Everything that he did wrong lost him the game. But still, he did so many things right for Team Unknown. That's why it's so unfortunate to watch.
Yeah, well, like, his teammates should have played it more carefully, you know, more health management, more escape management. However, you know, there's a saying, if you do 10 good deeds and 1 super bad deed, you know, the bad deed may, you know, cast a shadow on you.
That's a feels bad.
But that's what,
that
is feels bad, but that's what just happened with Aaron Kim. He did 10 good things, but that one crucial mistake, one bad deed, just gave the opponent the snowballing.
But it is too early to call out quits for Team Unknown because we do have double elimination format, and they will be facing in tomorrow's losers match. But right now, we're going to be on a short break, and we're going to be back with match 2 with GC Busan Blue and Coup d'etat coming up next. Welcome back to blade&soul Korea Season 2 semifinals, and we are just done with match 1, and we're about to go to match 2. But
stop stuttering. I know you're excited.
Match 1.
I'm about to lose my voice.
And it's true, but match 1 was such a disappointment because, you know, we saw Team Unknown from day 1, and we saw them consistently perform all the way to day 3, making it to the semifinals. They even beat Coup d'etat to do it. They showed so much, but considering how much they showed, they didn't show as much against IDEPS today.
It's very unfortunate that you feel that it was a disappointment, because I enjoyed match 1, regardless of who loses or wins. The matches itself were crazy, especially the second match when, you know, Jung-ho said the blade dancer just in 1 second. Like,
if you guys missed that, just watch Twitch VOD. But right now, before we do that, we're gonna go to the VCR to see what the players have to say.
뭐야? 뭐 나도? 아니 뭐야, 진작에 얘기해줘야지. 아니야. 했어? 했어 우리. 거짓말하지 마. 아, 나는 하지 말자. 진짜 했어? 이걸 왜 했어?
아이데스 팀 안 했어?
응. 4강에 2번째 진출하게 된 쿠데타 팀과의 인터뷰를 시작하겠습니다. 와, 야 저기 봐봐, 귀여운 절벽이야. 와,
야, 이런 게 있어?
야 구름 봐, 구름 봐. 와,
형 저기 돼지가 날아다니는데?
돼지?
형이랑 똑같이 생겼는데?
내가 돼지야.
그래, 비슷해. 난 곰이야. 지난주 졌는데 기분이 어땠어요?
태그에서 질주는 진짜 0.1% 상상 못했습니다. 못했는데 져서 그냥 충격이 좀 컸어요. 그래갖고 그 다음 경기까지 이어졌었고, 저번 주 우리 팀의 문제점을 이제 저희 진짜 연습을 안 하거든요. 왜냐하면 다 지그 잘하고 잘한다 하고 3명 다 저 포함 연습 자체를 안 해요. 좀 거만하고 오만했던 게 있는 것 같아서 이번 주에 열심히 연습해왔으니까 이길 것 같습니다.
그 지난주 경기에서 윤정호 선수한테 졌잖아요. 그 도발할 때랑은 좀 다른데 무슨 문제가 있으셨는지.
못 이긴다. 기분 못 이겨?
못 이긴다.
승률 배포가 이제 깨졌네요.
하긴데 어쩌라고? 그거 누가 형 이기나? 그 주술사 말고 딴 거에서 이기나?
나는 MC인데 뭘 이겨? 나 여기 MC야.
오늘 기공사 주술사 말고 누가 이기는데?
주술사도 못 이겨.
형 솔직히 저번에도 그렇게 강하게 나가라 해가지고
미안해.
맞아.
네가 이제 조용히 있다고 생각하고 한번 물어봐봐. 아파보고. 뭐 예를 들어서
형은 나한테 대회에서 이겨본 적이 없잖아.
선전 보고 해라.
형 말만 자신감 있지 검사한테도 다 이긴다 해놓고 졌잖아 무슨.
준호 형만 이긴 것 뿐이잖아.
왜 자신감이 넘치는지 모르겠습니다.
맞지.
강하게 저번 주에 강하게 나가라 해서 강하게 나갔더니
야 나는 상우를 도발한 거 잘려서 다행이야. 알겠지?
미안해. 아 이런 거 물어보게 하지 마. 누가 시켰어?
형이 했어.
아 근데 이게 좀 인터뷰가 아닌 좀 고급적으로 얘기하면 막 이렇게 풀어 나갈 수 있지. 썰을 이제 뭐 기상기를 뭐 튕겼어야 됐네. 뭐.
그런 거 하지 말고.
근데 그런 게
그냥
아니잖아.
아까 걸로 화낸 걸로 끝내죠. 이제 쿠데타가 4강에 진출하게 됐는데 원하는 상대가 누구인지.
솔직히 누가 올라오든 상관이 없는데 그냥 지든 이기든 4강 가가지고 아이뎁스 한 번 더 만나고 싶어요.
다시 꼭 만나니.
근데 내가 이긴 건데.
내가 잡지.
기상기만 튕겼어도.
다시 아이뎁스 만나면 내가 윤정훈이 잡을게.
상대에게 한마디씩 해주세요.
저번 주에 이제 지토린과의 경기에서 좀 보이지 않는 치명적인 실수가 하나 있었는데 그런 걸 좀 더 보완해서 다음 주에는 실수 없이 완벽한 경기 할 수 있도록 노력하겠습니다.
저는 원래 이제 대회가 2번째고 막 경험이 별로 없다 보니까 저번 주에 아이뎁스 팀한테 지고 나니까 진짜 멘탈이 많이 무너지더라고요. 그래서 그 다음에 정신 강화 많이 해가지고 더 잘하는 모습 보여드리도록 하겠습니다.
아 그리고 그 현규 형 그거 화제됐던데.
아 그래.
효구한테 이거 해가지고 효구네 엄마가 또 한 소리 할 것 같은데. 형규 쟤 뭔데 우리 효구한테 뭐라고 저러냐? 이러고.
말해도 돼요? 전화까지 왔었어요.
효구네 엄마한테 사과해.
제가 마지막 화면에 효구한테 이렇게 하는 말 저한테 잡혔어요.
그런 것들이 있어요.
예. 파이팅이라는 거죠. 파이팅이에요.
효구가 아까 말했다시피 치명적인 실수를 한번 했다 했잖아요. 그게 저한테 실수한 거거든요. 야, 아니 그 실수 죽인다 이랬는데 딱 그 장면만 잡힌 거예요. 딱 그 장면이 잡힌 거예요. 근데 제가 원래 워낙 인상이 강하다 보니까 사람들이 전화까지 왔더라고요. 진짜 때리려 한 거 아니냐고. 절대 그런 거 아니니까 우리 진짜로 저희는 원래 그렇게 노니까.
형 어머님한테
네가 말해줘.
형 어머님 사과하니까.
귀한 아들 주먹질 할래 죄송합니다. 절대 그런 거 아니고 저희 친해서 한 거니까. 야 좀 말 좀 해줘. 네 말 하나 막 이상하잖아.
솔직히 좀 쫄았지?
솔직히 많이 아플 뻔했다.
아니 무슨 아니야. 그렇게 가면 또 형 임마 박살나지 또. 아니야 그거 형.
아까 1층에서 좀 맞을 뻔하긴 했어.
아니 무슨 야 그러지 마 진짜 똑바로 말 좀 해줘. 끝난 거 아니야? 끝난 거 아니지? 끝났어? 끝났어. 아니잖아.
뭐야 여기?
와 불토도 좋아졌네.
와 뭐야? 와 불토도 좋네.
빨리 와요 형.
야 되게 좋아졌다 야.
뭐냐?
뭐야 이거?
뭘까?
많이 좋아졌다 근데. 네 안녕하세요. 불토뷰의 NC 장곰입니다. 4강에 진출한 GC 부산 블루팀과의 인터뷰를 시작하겠습니다. 지난 경기에서 검사를 꺼내셨는데 이유가 뭔지 물어볼게요.
여러 직업 한다는 걸 그냥 보여주고 싶었고 검사도 거의 한 2년 정도는 했는데 또 뭐 준호 형한테 다 배워서 한 거고 그래서 한번 대회 때 한번 써보자 해서 써보게 된 것 같아요.
이제 어떻게 보면 이제 시즌 1에서 결승전에서 만났던 쿠데타 팀을 만나게 되는데 이번에는 또 어떨 것 같으신지.
시즌 1 때 쿠데타랑 비등비등하게 가다가 마지막에 태그 매치를 한번 이겨서 저희가 우승을 했거든요. 그때보다는 훨씬 잘하는 것 같아서 훨씬 더 할만하지 않을까 생각하고 있어요.
4강에서 쿠데타를 만나게 됐는데 이게 불행인 것 같아요? 아니면 행운인 것 같아요?
4강에 있는 팀 중에서 가장 강팀이 쿠데타라고 생각을 해요. 근데 오히려 쿠데타랑 먼저 만나니까 여기서 저도 이제 패자저에서는 만나는 게 아니니까 훨씬 행운이라고 생각을 해요.
네, 쿠데타를 상대할 때 주의해야 될 선수가 있다면 누구신지.
저는 개인적으로 김현규 선수를.
그 이유가 있다면 어떤 이유예요?
일단 개인적인 스탠딩도 워낙 뛰어나고 대회에서 좀 잘하는 체질인 것 같아가지고 그렇게 생각합니다.
쿠데타 팀한테 한마디씩만 해주세요.
이번에도 윤재가 많이 올라왔고 했으니까 전보다는 이제 좀 쉽게 잡을 것 같으니까 긴장하시고요. 쿠데타를 잡으면 이제 거의 이번 시즌도 이제 우승을 한 번 더 할 수 있을 것 같아서 쿠데타만 이기면 우승할 것 같습니다.
드디어 다시 소환사를 꺼낼 수 있을 때가 된 것 같고요. 쿠데타 팀의 소환사를 꺼낼 만한 직업이 되게 많이 있어요, 생각해보면 은근히. 그래서 이번에 한번 보여드리겠습니다. 아 그리고 여기 자막에 예전에 조술사에서 소환사로 바꿔달라고 했는데 바꿔주셔서 감사하고요. 제가 요즘 조술사 많이 하지만 저는 언제까지고 소환사 유저입니다.
이번에 저희 GC 부산 레드팀이 아쉽게 탈락했는데 저희 블루팀이 열심히 해가지고 레드팀 목까지 해서 우승을 하겠습니다.
그래. 맛있는 거 사주고.
돈가스.
아니 우승하고 돈가스 하나 사준다는데 말이 되나?
이게 얼마나
소고기
비싼
사줘.
거 먹으려고 그래.
나 얼마 안 먹잖아.
네 배를 봐. 아니
형 배도 봐. 빨리 정해. 나 얘기할 거야.
돈가스.
그래 우린 돈가스가 4,500원짜리 우정이야.
아니야 8,000원이야.
진짜 어이가 없다.
아니 형 그래놓고 또 소고기 사주잖아.
아니 거짓말하지 마. 근데 우리 다음에는 소고기 대형이 쏘는 걸로.
오케이. 가야죠.
오케이야. 좀 웃기네.
우승하면 8,000원짜리 돈가스 사주기로 한 GC 부산 블루팀과 인터뷰였습니다.
$8 pork cutlet feels good, man.
Yeah, it feels good. And you know, I usually, to be honest, I'm gonna be honest. Usually, I love these interviews, but you know, coming into the semifinals, it seems like they are backing off a little. Because usually, like during the group stages or during quarterfinals, they got some beef going back and forth. But nowadays, even during the first match, and this is the second match, all four teams, they just seem to talk about, you know, yes, we have been practicing.
Sure.
Yes, you know, we have, we're trying to fix our mistakes that we made. So like, you know, they're focusing on themselves now because, you know, it's getting closer and closer to the end game.
And the little bit of differences can make all the change because right now, we saw that these bashing we've seen from previous interviews have backfired on them when they actually lost in the most tremulous ways. So we've seen cases like that. So I don't think they want to bash on anymore, but they just want to focus on their play. But right now with coup d'etat, as you see on the screen, we saw GC Busan Blue earlier on the screen, but we know that all 6 players are known to be talented, are known to be producing all kinds of skills that we always expect from them.
Yep, and right now, if you see the record, they've lost to IDEF 0-4, and you did mention that before. So if they win today, coup d'etat, if they beat GC Busan Blue, they have to go up against IDEF again. And even in the interview, Shingyang Kim and the rest of the team said, you know, regardless of us making whatever place, we just want to face IDEF one more time before we, you know, get knocked out or we place whatever place we place. So, you know, if they win today's match, they get to face IDEF once again.
So right now, coup d'etat is not even about the semifinals. It's just all about getting that revenge against IDEF. Because 4-0 sweep against coup d'etat is something we never expected, but they got that. So coup d'etat is going to be looking for the revenge. But right now, 75-25 towards coup d'etat. GC Busan Blue, they were the former championship guys, but I'm sure the viewers remember that. But regardless, they only get 25% of the voting. But GC Busan Blue, this is a team that we want to talk about because right now they mentioned in the interview that they are the stronger team because the team that beat coup d'etat in last season was a little bit shaky, but they did beat them in the end in the crucial tag match that they won. But they even themselves say they are a stronger team now. So with coup d'etat, with their interview kind of honestly, you know, confessing that they don't practice as much, if they are the same team, then GC Busan Blue, who have beaten them before, will be looking to do that again.
And the predictions, 25-75, from watching or looking at so many predictions, like from previous matches, from previous years, 25-75 basically means 50-50. Because I've never seen a 25-75 ever.
Yeah,
that's a lot. 25 is a lot. Even for that's not even a minority. It's basically 50-50.
What if one person voted for GC Busan Blue and 3 people voted for coup d'etat?
No. We don't have 3 people on stage. This is a live vote.
You never know.
No, they all voted.
Things can go wrong. I'm just kidding, but no way that can happen. But we will have the first match, which will be an assassin mirror match. But we have to see which assassin can bring their team ahead because Hyungju Kim, he has been the performer. He has had that crucial win in the last stage, but we'll see if he can do it again in match number 1 between GC Busan Blue and coup d'etat coming right your way. Here we go for the first match of the hype match with GC Busan Blue and coup d'etat. GC Busan Blue beat them before and crucially at the finals of Season 1, but they're going to be looking to do it again. With Dae Choi on the Assassin against Hyungju Kim also on the Assassin. Going to be an Assassin mirror match.
Alright. Oh, the body slam lands first! And Hyungyu Kim is doing a little bit of damage onto Daeyoung Choi. Yes, but Daeyoung Choi is out of tab escape as well as Hyungyu Kim. They're both out of tab escapes. Ooh, this time around, Daeyoung Choi lands that CC lightning run first, making Hyungyu Kim use his Lotus of Escape.
I didn't quite see where Hyungyu Kim had to use his escape there, but
he got CC'd, so he wanted to escape early on. But it was well used. As long as he doesn't get CC'd again like this. Now
he's gonna regret using that.
Now he's just gonna take the damage for the next 10
damage
seconds.
Onto the poison breath, onto the continuing combat. He's gonna look to that. That's it. That is it for GC Busan Blue, picking up the first win of this series. Assassin mirror match doesn't matter for GC Busan Blue because they get the first win, get them 1-0 ahead in the series.
Yeah, the first match not too much hype because, you know, like I said, when Hyungyu Kim used that Lotus of Escape and he was out of his escape for, you know, the next 15 to 16 seconds, and like 5 seconds pass and then he gets lightning rend. He gets CC'd right away. And you know, he doesn't have any escape for the next 10 seconds. And as an assassin mirror match, if you have 10 seconds of free deals, even if you're at full health, you're dead. But he was still at like 80% health, so you know it was already done by this time. So I wasn't even commentating on it because, you know, in Blade and Soul, when you're out of escapes, and especially when it's a one-on-one, and you're out of escapes, back roll doesn't matter if you have it. Back roll doesn't matter. If you're out of escapes, especially against an assassin, you're just gonna die.
And because we know that assassin has multiple ways of getting you into the stun, which you cannot escape unless you have the escape. But with that gone for the last crucial 15 seconds, all the damage is gonna be taken. And Daeyoung Choi specifically looks very well prepared against this coup d'etat side. And we're gonna see whether Yoon Tae-son is also gonna be prepared on the Warlock versus coup d'etat with Hyungyu Kwon on the Blade Dancer. But right now, this is going to be crucial because we always talk about momentum, and best of 7 is all about momentum.
Yeah,
if GC Busan Blue can get another win and make it to a 2-0 and hopefully bring that momentum into the tag match, it's going to be a quick one for GC Busan Blue.
Yeah, and a Warlock versus a Blade Dancer.
How do you rate that matchup?
Warlock is a strong class right now, and Yoon Tae-son has been improving every time. To be honest, in the beginning, early seasons, his Warlock was kind of weak, like mediocre, and Hyungyu Kwon has always been up there, even though he makes, you know, tiny mistakes. So just look at the players, Hyungyu Kwon is the better player, but you know, Yoon Tae-son's improvement as a Warlock and the Warlock class itself being strong, I don't know what's gonna happen. We'll have to get into the second set right now.
So comparably quick first match led to the way of GC Busan Blue, and it is going to be the second singles of this series with Yoon Tae-son on the Warlock against Hyungyu Kwon on the Blade Dancer. Coup d'etat has to get a win back right here.
Alright, Sanctum is put down with the familiar out. The leech is used.
But
Vortex, spin to win.
He's going to take a damage. But what I want to mention is this the first Warlock we've seen today?
Oh yeah, that is true. I didn't even notice.
It's just like, I've seen this familiar and I just haven't seen it in a while, but he should have picked it out earlier because Warlock is doing damage right now onto Hyungyu Kwon.
Time distortion. Warlock did use his tab escape, but he gets it back with the time distortion, and now they're back at even hands. It's not looking good for Hyungyu Kwon.
Oh man, Hyungyu Kwon has only a slimmest of help to work with. He does have all of his escapes, along with Yoon Tae-son's escapes.
4 seconds until he gets his leech back.
Yoon Tae-son right now, he has to bring that back at his familiar and try to see what he can do with it. Hyungyu Kwon gets some of his health back.
What was that? Hyungyu Kwon, what? That lightning draw, what? Come on.
He was not even in the distance to use that, but he's going to regret that. And the second match is over for GC Busan Blue, getting a 2-0 victory ahead in this series. I'm very confused about what coup d'etat is doing right now.
Yeah, during the interview, you know how they said, you know, Hyungyu Kwon made a mistake. He just made a huge one again.
Different mistake of that.
Like, he was definitely too hasty on that lightning draw. Because, sometimes a Blade Dancer, the usual combo is into the aerial to the re-knocker with the ascend and then the lightning draw into the thunder. That is like, you know, the most seen combo. However, you do see the lightning draw drawn first and then into the stunned or into the CCs on top of the lightning draw. But this time around, Hyung Kwon, I don't know why he used that lightning draw there.
Even if he was trying to use a lightning draw as the first part of his combo, he didn't have enough distance to work with. He was too far away to try to hopefully make that work.
Why did he, like, did he think like lightning draw got a patch like 18 meters or something? Like, I don't know. Why did he use it there?
Fat finger maybe, I don't know. Like something happened because Kudeta, he doesn't look good right now. His facial expressions tell us everything about how he feels about that matchup right now. Because moving on to tag match right now on set 3, this is going to be important for Kudeta because if they don't pull back 2 points here, a 4-0 ahead for GC Busan Blue will be a huge advantage. I don't see Kudeta coming back from that.
Definitely not. Kudeta definitely has to cut off this momentum. They have to take this tag team match, make it even 2-2. As you said, if GC Busan Blue takes it 4-0 and they win 2 more singles, you know, as they did just now, it's a 6-0 victory, and that I've never ever seen before done by any teams.
You know, we want to put the props on Kudeta, but the performance they have been showing in the first 2 singles right now have been, you know, we can't say any good words about it. It's very disappointing throughout, and they're going to have to look through this tag match and see whether they can bring it back. But we're going to see if they can do that with this tag match coming up for set 3 of this series between GC Busan Blue and Kudeta. We'll see whether Kudeta can bring this series back to their hands or whether GC Busan Blue will run away with 4-0. We are back for the tag match between GC Busan Blue and Kudeta. This is our first tag match of this series, and right now, Kudeta, disappointing is the word for them.
Oh, definitely. Like the first match, the first match is actually right on stage right now. Dae-young Choi versus Hyung Kim.
Yeah, the assassin match.
This one was it was okay. There was not too many mistakes. Maybe like Hyung Kim using his Lotus Fury first.
Yeah.
But like right now he's taking so much damage.
Oh my
again.
Goodness.
But this tag is different. But however, the second match again with Hyung Kwon, like that was disappointing. I don't know what happened.
Because Hyung Kim right now on the assassin, he's not doing considerable amount of damage. He does force out the escape from Dae-young Choi, which he has back. But right now, with the lack of his escape right now, he has to be careful. But has to be aware of the fact that he can take considerable amount of damage. But he tries to get on the initiate. Doesn't get too much out of it. Goes to the stun, onto the arrow. He can't get out of that right now, obviously. The poison breath, trying to put him back.
All right, stealth is used by Dae-young Choi, and Hyung Kim will get his stealth back in 8 seconds. So now the table is going to be turned very soon. Hyung Kim could go aggressive to Dae-young Choi, forcing maybe a defensive interfere, making GC Busan Blue, you know, waste 1 interfere points at a time, or even a tag point, if you know possible.
And in 10 seconds is what he has right now to do it. He does get onto the stun. He has no way to escape from that. But right now, Hyung Kim, he has to go on the aggression, tries to get some damage onto his opponent.
Ooh, a lot of mobility on both sides, and the tab escape is used again.
Yes, he has to use the escape because he was stunned up and he didn't want to take additional damage off of that. 7 seconds is what both players have, but he's trying to get considerable amount of damage before they are force tagged out in. Right now, they will be force tagged out for both sides. Yoon Jae-jung on the Warlock and Shin Kim on the Warlock. It's a mirror match once again.
Not an even matchup, even though the classes are the same. Shin Kim and Yoon Jae-jung, the class of, you know, the way they play, Shin Kim is way up there. So we'll have to see how Shin Kim takes this on right now. And oh, look at this. The first damage is drawn. The first blood is drawn.
Right now, you say that Shin Kim is much stronger, but just from this performance in this entire tournament so far, Shin Kim, I think, could have impressed more than what we know him to be. But the familiars are just facing off against each other while the warlocks are trying to face off against each other. Interfere coming in from the assassin Dae-young Choi.
Ooh, throwing out their tether blades. The defensive interfere, actually, Shin Kim was able to endure that on 2v1. And yes, look at this. Shin Kim like doing a number on them.
Oh, doing a damage onto him, onto the aerial.
Both area. Look at this mirror match.
Shin Kim doesn't have his escape, but he is going aggressive as he can, forcing Yoon Jae-sung to come in on the tag in, but also interfere coming in.
Good defensive
forcing the interfere on the defense. Very good interfere coming in from Kudeta.
All right, that was a good defensive interference, keeping Shingan Kim alive. That was the point of that. Sanctum is put down.
And Shingan Kim does have escapes to work with, along with Yuntae-sun, who just came in on the Blade Dancer. He's going to have to do some numbers on Shingan Kim right now. The lightning draw gets a little bit of damage onto him, and Hyuga-kwon is forced to be tagged in. Forced onto the Shadow Grip, Phantom Grip, and he's trying to see what he can do with it, but Yuntae-sun does get knocked down.
Oh no, 2 Blade Dancers. Oh, this is bad news. We're going to see a lot of spinning. Beyblades, go, go, go.
We're not sponsored by Beyblade in any way, but just saying to you, it is very, very similar of a matchup.
All right, he dodged that with the backstep. Nice.
And Hyuga-kwon on the Blade Dancer, obviously, this is the typical thing of Blade Dancer. They have to look for the first opportunity to get into the area, onto the interfere, forcing the reactionary interfere, but that's not enough to negate all the damage that has gone to you. Onto the lightning draw. Oh, that's actually good. Trying to combo that, was trying to initiate it, but nothing coming from it.
Body swap into the lightning run, forcing him to use his escape and tag out.
Back to the assassin mirror match once again, but Daeun Choi doesn't have his stealth available onto the stun of Hyuga Kim. He has to force his escape.
We go into stealth.
The interfere coming from Yoon Jae-jung. This is actually very even right now. Not really deciding who the clear winner in this tag so far.
Yeah, the tag and interfere points are exactly even.
We'll see what he can do with this.
His web up in the air.
Familiar trying to put in some damage.
But the defensive interfere was well played by Shingan Kim, but now he's out of his
area, onto the webbing. Hyuga Kim, he's going to have to look for the mine. Once he lands back to it, he's going to have to poison breath.
Stealth out. He does stealth out, so you know, you did make him waste or use his escape. So that was a plus right now, even though his health is very low.
Hyuga Kim has a little bit of health that he can work with. He does have escape, so he is allowed to go in aggressively as he wants. But Daeun Choi trying to look for opportunities for both sides on the stealth. Now getting out of it on the interfere.
Oh, Hyuga Kim used his ult, but nothing lands. None of the stabs land, unfortunately.
And Hyuga Kim, right now he has to look for some kind of opportunity because 2 seconds is all he has until he has a lack of stealth.
Yep, and Shingan Kim is out of interfere points. So right now, just overall, even though Kudeta has the majority of the interfere points, 4 in total.
Yes.
GC Busan Blue, the health-wise and the tag points, it just overall looks better for GC Busan Blue right now. And Kudeta definitely doesn't want to lose, and the force tag is coming out.
It's a good distance to go for the chase. Tags in.
Oh, the chase lands.
Oh, that's a good chase. Up onto the area, onto the webbing. Very good series of combos that he can land on here. Familiar coming in from Shingan Kim. It was good for him to keep that close distance, so it was made the chase a little bit easier.
Shingan Kim uses Sanctum. He's out of escapes.
Oh, Yoon Jae-jung does come back in, but takes a considerable amount of damage as soon as he comes in.
All right, the delayed time distortion getting his escape back as well. Shingan Kim taking a lot of...
Getting all of his health, all of his health back.
Wow, stop hitting him.
Oh, Yoon Jae-jung is tagged out. Daeun Choi does come back in on the assassin. That was not a good tag that GC Busan Blue wanted, but Shingan Kim still about to work right here.
Like I'm telling you, Shingan Kim is on another level.
Yes.
I am so happy he didn't go to the military because supposedly he was supposed to go after the Worlds last year, but he postponed it, and he did. I don't know the real reason why he postponed it, but he postponed it, and he is participating right now, and I am so happy to see him again because he is on a different level.
Perhaps the real reason is he just wanted to play more video games.
Yeah,
but that was good reason enough. No, we can have one less man. It's fine. But because right now, Shingan Kim is helping another group succeed. Because Kudeta, they'll be needing all the help from Shingan Kim to bring them back into form.
Yeah. All right, there we go. Daeun Choi is trying to play aggressive, but Shingan Kim is not allowing it.
Nothing really coming in from both sides. They're just trying to look for the move, trying to go for the initiate, but Shingan Kim will be force tagged out in 7 seconds.
Yep, that's why he's keeping his distance, and that is a very smart move.
What he didn't do earlier.
Daeun Choi is slowly sneaking up like an assassin, but he's just going to let that
chase
force
will
tag.
not even be attempted by Daeun Choi because of the distance that he had to cover. But right now, Hyuga Kim on the half health does have to come back out. He has all of his escapes to work with.
All right, the late stealth is used by Hyuga Kim.
The late escape, yeah.
He's out of both escapes. And why did that defensive interfere come? Oh, okay. So the time distortion comes in. Shingan Kim comes in, uses time distortion, gives back Hyuga Kim's escapes because he was out of both. That was not a bad move. However, Hyungyu Kim, if he does not make profit out of that time distortion, that would have been in vain. That would have been a waste.
Yes.
So,
Yuntae Son coming on Blade Dancer, and Hyungwoo Kwon coming back on the Blade Dancer, getting in the aerial. As soon as he comes in, the ultimate does connect.
Not really.
Slightly.
Slightly. It seems like it did.
Visually, it looked perfect on, but Yoon Jae-jung coming back on the Warlock, actually taking a lot of damage as soon as he comes in. Shingun Kim does come back in on the Warlock for coup d'etat, trying to get the interfere on both sides. The ultimate doesn't land as he should.
Well, it does land on the Familiar. Familiar took a lot of damage, so the damage meter did go up. For GC Busan, for coup d'etat.
Yeah, but we have to look for the TKO if that's going to matter. But right now, Shingun Kim, he's trying to get something going, but nothing is really coming unless he is taking damage on the opposite end.
Shingun Kim is out of escape.
A lot of interfere coming in from both sides, both reactionary. Because right now, Shingun Kim actually good damage onto Yoon Jae-jung.
Yes, of course the Warlock ult is not going to connect.
That's actually not damage to knock out Yoon Jae-jung, forcing the Choi to come in. This is looking bad for GC Busan Blue because 1 minute later, if it goes to the TKO chart, we already talked about the Blade Dancer ultimate hitting the Familiar. The damage chart is in favor for GC Busan Blue, but coup d'etat with Shingun Kim, he's putting that considerable amount of damage to enough to kill out Yoon Jae-jung. So right now, the damage chart, coup d'etat should be very happy about the situation.
Yeah, and Shingun Kim was out of both escapes when he was able to take out Yoon Jae-jung, which means Yoon Jae-jung couldn't land a single CC. Outplayed.
Daeon Choi trying to get something done before the last 30 seconds is up because GC Busan Blue must be fitting the jitters, because right now if the game ends like this, they might lose out the TKO damage chart.
It's gonna end like this because Yoon Jae-jung only has 13 seconds and he has no tag points, so he can't tag out. No interference.
Actually good enough damage from 90 to 0 to Shingun. This might turn the table altogether. Yoon Son
last second damage.
The damage is going to be enough damage to pick out on the TKO. I think it's going to go to GC Busan Blue.
You think so? I still think coup d'etat though. I still think coup d'etat.
Let's watch here because right now a considerable amount of damage was going towards GC Busan Blue, and that was enough to finish him off.
Wow!
An event turnaround.
That was another crazy turnaround.
In Series 1, we saw the same match 1 in the tag where the last few seconds decided the damage chart because it was very even towards both sides. 90 to 0 Shingun Kim. I don't know what had happened to him in that split second where he got knocked off.
Wow. In the interview, coup d'etat was like, yeah, we didn't practice previously, but this week we did, and we are going to show you how we changed. And yes, you are showing us how you changed, getting owned for Donut right now. So the next 2 match that is going to be coming up are 2 singles. So if coup d'etat just wins 1 single out of the 2, they are going to set 6. So they just have to win 1. Just 1. They don't even have to win both. Yeah, it'll be good for them to win both of the singles.
Of course, yes.
But, if that's hard, just win 1. Just secure, set 6.
I really want to see this instant death of Shingun Kim. Which we'll see right here. This is where Shingun Kim gets eliminated.
All right, there we go. It's coming up right now.
Oh, my word.
That was actually Daeon Choi's interference. I thought Yoon Son did it.
We saw some super interferes today.
Wow.
Including the one from Aaron Kim, which, unknown, unfortunately, did lose.
That destroyer was crazy, too.
Today is all about the interferes, and today is all about those set comebacks in the final few seconds to decide the damage chart towards team. And now GC Busan Blue is ahead 4-0.
Wow, 4-0, GC Busan Blue against coup d'etat, who has Shingun Kim on the team. That's just unbelievable. And today's match, all the matches, it's either a regular mediocre match, like throughout just trading trading escapes and stuff. And now it's either trading like a mediocre match or like last 3 seconds.
Deciding everything.
Like there's nothing that is like, early game super play.
No.
It's just either like last 5 second super play or just the regular trade-off, going back and forth until TKOs or, oh my gosh.
And it's the characteristic of being a semi-final because it's the one last step you have to take to make yourself go into the finals. because we know how all teams will try to be as careful as they can, trying to not make any mistakes. But when the crucial moment does come, that opportunity presents itself to you, the team that takes the advantage of those last few seconds of opportunities, they get the crucial wins to get their team into the victory.
Yeah. And
oh my
all right, for now, if there's 4 matches left total, so we have two singles matches left and 2 tag matches left. So if, like I said, Coup d'etat takes 1 singles, right? They secure at least to go to set 6.
Because it will be 4-1,
yeah,
and even if they win, even if GC Busan Blue does win out everything, you have to go to set 6.
Yeah. So basically, if Coup d'etat wants to win, they have to win 3.
Yeah.
3 games, right? Straight. Or it doesn't have to be straight, but 3 games. So both the tag that are left, both the tag and 1 single. And that's going to be hard.
Essentially, put it easily, Coup d'etat has to win all the matches for them to win.
Yeah, basically.
That's the easiest way to think about it, because right now with being 4-0, we have 2 singles left over, which is going to be 1 point each. Even if Coup d'etat does win out both of those singles, it's going to be 4-2. And the last tag before the final tag will be also worth 2 points, delegated to 4 even. And the last match, of course, why it's worth 3 points, I don't know still, but it will be the decider overall.
Why it's worth 3 points?
Can you think of a situation where it would be worth 3 points? I'm not going to question the system, guys, but I'm just saying, but trying to think of all the opportunities that can happen, because this is very confusing, the fact that not all matches are the equal value. The singles are worth 1 and the tags are worth 2, and the last tag is worth 3. So all that put aside, we can think of millions of opportunities that, it could actually have an impact, but right now we see GC Busan Blue 4-0 up against Coup d'etat, and Coup d'etat, either they were lying at the interview or just GC Busan Blue taking the biggest of honesty and telling all the truth in the world about what their team was about.
Exactly. And I am, like I said before, like many times, I'm so surprised that GC Busan Blue, Season 1 winners, right? They placed first place in Season 1. So, they have been improving. They've, been going upstairs constantly. There was no stale. They've constantly been improving. But it's Coup d'etat. It's Coup d'etat. Like Shin-Yeon Kim, Hyung-Gu Kwan, Hyung-Yu Kim. Hyung-Yu Kim probably, is the weakest link of the other 2.
But compared to other players, he's still a great player.
He's still good, and he's adjusting to the live stage very well.
Yes.
But today, something is going on.
But right now, it's not just about today. We have to mention that Coup d'etat, as you mentioned, as great as they are, as the name values that they have, did not perform up to the level throughout this entire tournament. They lost to IDEPS 4-0 in the opening day, and they also lost to a rookie team, Team Unknown, to eventually allow Unknown to get into the semifinals. But just considering all that into the equation, Coup d'etat, disappointing from day one, still disappointing in the semifinals right now, but we have to see whether their disappointment will end, because they're going to have to win pretty much all of these remaining matches for them to have a shot at the winner's match.
Yeah, definitely. Them trying to win after a 4-0 loss right now, or GC Busan having a 4-0 lead with that momentum. That tag match right now, just the 3rd set, it was Coup d'etat's chance to break off that momentum. Now, they must be tilted.
Yeah.
To a certain point. Maybe they have strong mental, fortitude. They're ready. It's it doesn't matter if it's 4-0. We can win everything out. Good for them if that is the case. However, just thinking, generally, 4-0.
And considering the fact that they were so close on winning, and it was that last few seconds that decided it all. But we have to see, the result is a result, and it is currently 4-0 towards GC Busan Blue. But Shin-Yeon Kim, is he back?
And back to the Soul fighting.
Soul Fighter for the first time in Season 2. Did we see in Season 1?
Yeah, Kim Sang-hwang played Soul Fighter, but he didn't participate this season.
My goodness, I am excited and ready to see the Soul Fighter for the first time. This is his pocket pick that Shin-Yeon Kim always had in his mind. And this is what it takes for, Coup d'etat to start the great comeback of coming back from 4-0 down to hopefully making it to the semifinals winners match.
Yes, and Shingyun Kim, 2016, won the World Champion Singles with the Soul Fighter, and in 2017, once again, he takes out his World Champion winning class, and we will be going into set 4 right now with Shingyun Kim versus Yoon Jae-jung on the Summoner and Soul Fighter. Let's get it on.
Match 4 between GC Busan Blue and Kudeta gets underway, and the best type of singles that I have expected. I have never expected. First of all, Yoon Jae-jung on the Summoner is the first time of this season, I believe, because he has been playing the Warlock this entire time, and he has mentioned in his interview that he was going to bring it out. But the more exciting thing, obviously, is Shingyun Kim's Soul Fighter, first time of the season.
Yes, and Shingyun Kim, I'm so excited to see his plays because Soul Fighter's been nerfed so much.
Due to him.
Due to him because he owned too much. But anyways, yeah, the Soul Fighter has been nerfed very much. That's why you don't see it at all. Because Soul Fighter was a must last year, but oh my god, look at Shingyun Kim!
Oh!
This is what Shingyun Kim does when he just plays a class.
My goodness, Yoon Jae-jung does not know what to expect out of the Soul Fighter. I know that, you know, Yoon Jae-jung on the Summoner and also the Soul Fighter has limited amount of escapes because that can be extra crucial whether they have it available or not. But Shingyun Kim putting good amount of damage onto the Summoner right now.
Another Windstorm! But he does not continue it because of the cat.
The cat trying to disturb as much as he can, but actually Soul Fighter getting up into the air. Shingyun, this is looking very bad. Consistent damage from 100 to 0.
No, he escapes out.
Just escape, just enough to escape all of that.
Oh my god. Cheebers! Cheebers! Shingyun Kim, Cheebers, heal up.
This is looking bad though. Eventually it was going to be the death of Shingyun Kim once again. It was exciting to bring out the Soul Fighter once again, but it has to end in a loss. 5-0 GC Busan Blue.
The nerf is real.
Hey.
Oh, if Shingyun Kim can't do it,
if he did the
no
exact
one
same
can
skills,
do it.
If he did the exact same skills on the stronger Soul Fighter we all know before the recent nerfs, how do you think the result would have been?
No, it's not even about the result. It's just if Shingyun Kim can't do it, then it's, you know, it's not possible. It's not possible. Regardless of who is facing, what class he's facing, if Shingyun Kim cannot do it with his Soul Fighter, that means the nerf is real, guys.
Oh my goodness. So guys,
it's real.
So hold out on the Soul Fighter until you hear some recent news and perhaps maybe Shingyun Kim playing a lot more Soul Fighter, because I don't think he's going to play this ever again until he knows that it's much stronger.
Or it could have been his plan to lose like this so the Soul Fighter can get buffed again.
Is it worth the 5-0 deficit that GC Busan Blue is been giving up to? I don't know about that one ending, but you know, considering right now this current situation of 5-0 towards GC Busan Blue, and the fact that they had to put out a pocket pick to hopefully get their 1 point back out of the 4 points they already lost, the major tiltage is at another level perhaps.
And it seems like Shingyun Kim is gonna go at it again.
Wow.
I don't know, just by the faces in the booth.
Oh my goodness!
All right, Soul Fighting once again. This is his last chance.
You know,
if Shingyun Kim is unable to win this, they're done for 6-0.
And NCSoft will buff the Soul Fighter.
I'm pretty sure if that happens, if Shingyun Kim
this plan is real.
Yeah, that is real. Like they're like, all right, we're already nothing to lose. Let's just get the Soul Fighter buff.
A good investment towards 2018 Season 1, maybe? I think that's a very good trade-off of it. As you know, this is a dual tournament, and even if Kudeta does lose out on this series, they do get to face, you know, the losers match and hopefully make it to the final. So they do have a chance, even if they lose out.
Yeah, of course.
We have no idea what's going through Shingyun Kim's mind when he's pulling out the Soul Fighter 2 times in a row for the first time in Season 2. But we have to see what this is going to be for Kudeta in general, because they are 5-0 down right now. One more loss will be the end of their series, and we'll see if that is going to be the case with this last singles of the series between GC Busan Blue and Kudeta coming right your way. the people at NC Soft, if you guys are watching this, I'm sure you guys are, but you guys have to pay attention close to this because Shingen Kim brought out the Soul Fighter 2 times. The best Soul Fighter we know. If he loses 2 times in a row, you guys need to
All right,
buff
there we go. The Windstorm combo, as always.
Oh.
The knockback. There we go. Ooh, the stealth is forced.
But actually, the second win out of
There we
Day1
go.
is out.
Oh my gosh, Shingen Kim is forcing all the escapes out.
All of his escapes are out for Day1.
Oh, there is the ground pulse, earth pulse is used. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh, Shingen Kim is just non-stop.
Shingen Kim is constantly going on, but he does get into the aerial onto the webbing. But Shingen Kim is fine. He has all of his escapes ability. Now he has to use it.
It's okay. Shingen Kim is out of his escapes as well as Day1. Day1 is going to get his escape back in 3, 2, 1. Yeah, but Shingen Kim does have a lot of mobility, even though he doesn't have his escape. So he basically has like six other mobilities on the Soul Fighter. So as long as he utilizes that very well like he did last year, he will be able to last another 10 seconds until he gets his tab escape back.
Shingen Kim is
There we
looking
go.
very good on the nerf, supposedly nerfed Soul Fighter, looking very strong against the assassin of Day1.
All right, forcing Day1 to use his Lotus's escape already. There we go. Another. Oh, but he is CC.
All the Bombardier trying to get the combo in right now.
Ice Mine, buying some time, but it's okay. Shingen Kim, full health, almost full health. And just remember, guys, even though it was nerfed, the chi burst is still there.
Oh, actually, he's getting onto the nerf, onto the area, onto the webbing, on the ground, onto the bombard. He's actually should have used the escape. He still hasn't used it yet.
He doesn't have to. See, there we go. The Windstorm combo. There's ball.
Will that be
there we go. Another Winston
the
combo.
Soul Fighter wins for the first
Look at
time
that
in
smile.
Season 2. He has been missing that smile from the beginning of this series. And look at him smile. This is a smile that means a completely different thing.
That is Shingen Kim Soul Fighter right there. That Windstorm combo into the ground ripple, chase into another Windstorm combo. Usually last year we've only seen double Windstorm combos like back to back, but Shingen Kim puts that Earth Pulse in between, does a little more damage and chases that with the teleport and does a second Windstorm combo afterwards. Oh, I love it.
Let's look at the replay right now. Shingen Kim getting considerable amount of damage. Is starting from the early parts of the game.
Takes him out of stealth too. Oh,
all of his escapes were gone by then. And Shingen Kim was pretty much on full health the entire game.
He's just doing a Dogen's like, oh gosh.
Dogen's once
and
again.
I thought Shingen Kim wanted Soul Fighter to be buffed. Come on.
That
Alright, so here we go. Ground ripple, chase into the aerial. Oh, this is so beautiful.
Now we know that wasn't the plan to get the Soul Fighter buff.
Yeah,
but he was just trying to win the game, and which he does in style with the Soul Fighter that we really love to see back just now. But he does get the last singles win for these guys, so set 6 and set 7 will be a sure thing for Coup d'etat. As long as they win out set 6, they do have a chance to still win out the series, unbelievably as it sounds. And this is the one instance that 3 points do matter.
Yeah, it does. Right now, well, since last game, since set 5, it's been potentially the last, set for GC Busan Blue if they had taken the victory. But Coup d'etat won that last single, so now this once again set 6.
Six, yes,
set 6 is another potentially last match or last set if GC Busan takes this tag team victory. So let's get ready to see the potential last set.
It has been a potentially the last matches since the last singles where Shingen Kim did win out on the fort of the Soul Fighter, which he doesn't bring out in the tag, but once again, Coup d'etat needs the 2 points right here, and even if they do, they're going to have to win set 7 to get the last 3 points to get them the victory.
Yep, alright, Shingen Kim is back on his Warlock. Yep, he had his fun with the Soul Fighter. Last year in tag, a Soul Fighter was a must, but now it's the Warlock.
The Warlock is a better addition to the team, but interfere coming out from Shingen Kim on that Warlock, as you mentioned,
Yep,
but right now.
And Hyungu Kim gets all of his escape back with Shingen Kim's time distortion. Same thing happens in GC Busan Blue. The interfere for that time distortion. Hyungu Kim already used his stealth right even after Shingen Kim gave it back to him, and the Lotus Fury is used. Now
So, you know, Hyungu Kim doesn't make that good advantage of what he had with the time distortion coming in for Shingen Kim.
Oh no, the back roll chase.
Oh, it's actually going to be a good damage. It's stun that he can't get out of because he doesn't have his escapes. But Shingen Kim is forced to tag out on the side of coup d'etat. And Dae Choi on the assassin looking very healthy for GC Busan Blue. He has all of his escapes and is going to be looking to go aggressive.
Yep, but it's Shingen Kim, so he might want to just play it a little bit more careful compared to, Hyungu Kim.
We'll have to see. Because right now, Dae Choi, he's all about that win because
the Shadow Slash connects.
Winning this set for GC Busan Blue will be the end of it all, and they will be confirmed to go to the winners match, which would they love to do.
You could tell Dae Choi is afraid because he does land that Shadow Slash, but he does not continue because it's Shingen Kim.
Yes, you always have to be fearful of the Shingen Kim, that name itself.
But an aerial is different.
Aerial onto the webbing, forcing out the interfere from Hyungu Kim. It's going to be force tagged out onto Yoon Jung on the Warlock, so it's going to be a Warlock mirror match for the time being.
Yep, there we go. Shingen Kim playing aggressive, doing a lot of damage to the familiar actually. Puts down the Sanctum, both of them. Throwing papers in each other's faces.
So not getting enough damage onto Shingen Kim and Yoon Jung himself, but onto the familiar instead. Yoon Jung is the only one with the familiar out right now. Shingen Kim doesn't have his at the moment.
Back roll.
He's going to interfere, coming out from both sides. One reactionary.
Nothing too much happens though.
We're just trying to play careful for this time being because we saw in the previous
There
plays
we go.
that one mistake can ruin it all for your team, and Yoon Jung on the Warlock has to look for something
It's
right
not looking
here.
good because Yoon Jung's familiar is gone and Shingen Kim still has his familiar out.
Has to be force tagged out. He is tagged out onto Dae Choi on the assassin back again, but Shingen Kim on 5-second cooldown will be force tagged out onto his teammate.
He is approaching him though.
Oh, we're gonna go for the
Okay, no chase is happening.
But Hyeogu Kwon on the Blade Dancer. We haven't seen too much of him today, but he is back out on the Blade Dancer. He has to do something for his team, or else they'll be knocked out.
Yeah, he definitely has to do something for his team because he is on tilt this season. There we go with the aerial.
Aerial and the tilt looking to continue as long as he doesn't get anything out of this. But right now, he does. Oh, he does save his escape, Hyeogu Kwon, and it still considers amount of damage that he didn't have to take.
All right, so there is a. Okay, so he just decides to use his tab escape to get out of that long, long sleep. I don't know if that was a good choice to make for Dae Choi right now.
Both players are out of their escapes right now, and Dae Choi, with the one that has to say, actually Hyungu Kim does get its back, forcing the tag out of Yoon Jung. That was a kind of an unexpected tag out. What do you think?
No. Dae Choi had to tag out because he used his, Lotus of Escape, which was his last leftover escape. So no escape. Oh my God! But Hyungu Kim.
Good tag out because Yoon Jung does put out a good damage onto Hyungu Kim. On the assassin, he doesn't have any escapes available, so if he gets caught again, Yoon Jung will be doing enough damage, but he will tag out onto Shingen Kim now.
All right, Shingen Kim comes in using the time distortion right away.
Oh, that's
but
actually
he's
good.
taking so much damage right now from Yoon Jung.
Shingen Kim does send out his familiar, but it is a little bit tad late because he already took all the damage that he could have admitted. Perhaps if he could play better.
Yes, but now it's Shingen Kim's turn. There we go! Just as I said!
Getting
Shingen
that
Kim.
damage onto Yoon Tae-son on the Blade Dancer, but Blade Dancer Yoon Tae-son saving his escape, but trying to negate as much of that damage as possible. Does send him into the aerial.
Defensive interfere comes in, stopping him with the aerial combo. That was good interfere by coup d'etat.
And Yoon Tae-son had to use escape, which forcing out the tag onto Dae Choi on the assassin. Already using his escape already. And Shingen Kim has to look for this opportunity, but he also has his escape gone. Now Hyeogu Kwon on the Blade Dancer comes back out.
All right, Dae Choi has his ult ready, as well as he stealthed in with the ult.
An immense amount of tag points that both teams are using at this moment. Hyeogu Kwon has one tag point available along with Shingen Kim. And along with this, also with Dae Choi on the GC Busan Blue side, they only have one tag for two players, but that's about it. So
Dae Choi just used ult. But on the wall. Maybe he was just, you know, getting his anger out.
Using it on the wall, maybe worth it. We'll have to find out because Day1 Choi right now, he's going to have to look for all the opportunities that he can. He does have one tag point and one interfere points right now, but he's going to try to do some damage himself because right now, coup d'etat, with the lack of interfered and the lack of tag points they have available, they're going to have to look for it, but Hyung-Kwon does go into the air.
This might force a defensive interfere by coup d'etat, which they only have 2 interfere points left right now until
he's still not using his escape nor, but he does get into the area. Interfere coming in from both sides. Not too much damage coming into either side, but Shingan Kim does come back out. All right, now they are at attack points.
All right, they are. Shingan Kim is the only one with tag and interfere points. Look at GC Busan. They have 3 interfere points on bench, so this is looking super good for GC Busan.
We need the best side of Shingan Kim, which is starting to show now with the damage that he's putting out on Yoon Tae-sun. But we're gonna have to see the best side of Shingan Kim unless he wants to carry this team into the match that they really need to win to go to set 7.
All right, 30 more seconds until everybody gets an interfere point back. So is Shingan Kim will be able to last that 30 seconds right now.
Oh, Shingan Kim does take a little bit of damage off of the lightning drop, but has to use a tag point out onto Hyung-Yu Kim. That is the last one that he has available, so Hyung-Yu Kim has to look for that 1 minute mark to get the interfere back. But unless he does, that is actually the damage.
All right, he does get into the area. He basically makes GC Busan Blue waste 1 interfere point. That is very well played by Hyung-Yu Kim. Everybody got their interfere point now at the 3 minute mark. So now it's going to be another crazy set of action incoming.
And Yoon Tae-sun does come back in on the Blade Dancer. But right now on the interfere, like you said, trying to go for the play. Not coming in for Hyung-Yu Kim. Does take a little bit amount of damage.
No, Yoon Tae-sun is playing very passive right now. I don't know why. Hyung-Yu Kim is out of all of his escapes.
This is his time. This is a time where Yoon Tae-sun should be going aggressive, especially with the interfere they can use to their advantage.
Nice. Oh, the back row chase!
The ultimate! Gets only a small share of that. But right now, Day1 Choi back out on the assassin. Yoon Tae-sun didn't make too much of the advantage that they had.
Oh, that was close.
Hyung-Yu Kim holding on very well considering the amount of health that he has. He does get his escape back. So right now, Hyung-Yu Kim playing passively, but also very smart at the same time. He's going to have to look for a play because 1 interfere point is all he has, and eventually is going to be knocked off, forcing his other teammate to come in.
Yep, and him having an interfere point on the field, it does not matter. He doesn't have a tag point. 10 seconds until force tag happens for Hyung-Yu Kim, and that's what he is waiting for.
Wow, Hyung-Yu Kim playing so well. 5 seconds until he literally survives through all of that tremor. And he is going to survive onto the force tag onto Hyung-Kwon. Oh, he's actually going on the interference.
And Hyung-Kwon doesn't get chased. Instead, he goes aggressive and gets Day1 Choi into the area, forcing GC Busan Blue to use an interfere point.
That was almost like a counter chase. He was supposed to be chased on that interfere. He actually had very little distance that he could have worked with, but he gets a good play onto Day1 Choi. Now, GC Busan Blue has to be a little bit nervous.
Yeah, but overall, GC Busan Blue has done more damage, so
TKO.
If it goes down, they have 1 minute, and at the 1 minute point, everybody gets another interfere point back right now.
And this is the big play that both teams should be looking for. The interfere coming in for Hyung-Yu Kim. Hyung-Yu Kim has been impressing for this tag match specifically, but right now they need a little more than that. The play, that's her ultimate. It looked like he hit a bunch of it, but it doesn't translate into the damage.
Yep. Day1 Choi, 2 seconds left.
Oh, that's actually good damage! This is going to be enough! Oh my god! Quad! That's actually coming back. Hyung-Yu Kim now out. This is looking very bad. He's on the limits of now. He's going to be knocked out.
Oh my god, he just got hit!
This is over. This is over.
The Warlock ult actually landed.
Every single player in GC Busan Blue is at full health, reaching into the last 50 seconds of the game, and the damage chart is clearly towards the GC Busan Blue side right now. It seems like it's over.
And right now, Day1 Choi interfered in, used his ult on his teammate. Day1 Choi just ulted Yoon Jae-jung, just for fun, I think.
Oh my goodness. A stylistically waste of an ult, but doesn't matter, as it will most likely be GC Busan Blue winning out on this TKO and eventually winning out this series to go to the winner's match.
Yeah, they said in the interview, if they're able to beat coup d'etat, they're going to go for that first place once again, which is going to be roughly $50,000 in US dollars.
You know, us as cast, we are so tilted in the best positive way when the last few seconds decide everything.
Yeah, I know. That's been the day today.
That's been all of it today. And coup d'etat, so unfortunate for this guy, but at the same time, we can't help but criticize the way they approach the situation about this match against GC Busan Blue. Maybe they didn't take them seriously enough, or just GC Busan Blue were just so much stronger on the day.
Yeah, well, we won't know, you know, unless we're them. But, you know, don't give up, because coup d'etat, they have tomorrow to, you know, play the losers match and come back up and try to make it into the finals. But let's see the replay right now. Alright, so Hyungyu Kim.
Props to him.
No. I don't want to give him props.
Why?
And the reason I'm going to say right now, and you're going to see during the interview, I mean, not the interview.
The replay.
The replay. He does last long at the end when he has no interfere points, but he only stalls time, does almost zero damage, not doing anything for his team. He just stays out there, hides, runs away, stealths away, and as an assassin, and as you know, only having like a minute and 30 seconds left on the clock, and assuming that you're going to a TKO, as an assassin, you're supposed to do damage. But he was so concentrating on staying alive and surviving for the force tag to happen that he was just running away for like a whole minute doing nothing. And, you know, unfortunately at the end they did, you know, lose by losing 2 players on the team. So it wouldn't have mattered anyways, but if all 3 players were alive on coup d'etat, and same as GC Busan Blue, and it went down to a TKO, they would have still lost because Hyungyu Kim wasted a full minute of doing nothing but running around.
Before I can ask you an additional question on that, we have to go to the semifinal. Today's results, IDEPS on the left side and GC Busan Blue on the left side. The winners of the groups does take out the win for the both semifinals match. And now we're going to move on to the winners match, which will be starting tomorrow with IDEPS versus GC Busan Blue. The power level of these two teams is tremendous, because we've seen what IDEPS is capable of, just knocking out Team Unknown, a very strong team that we've seen so far, getting knocked off relatively easy against IDEPS, and GC Busan Blue crushing. And that's the best word for crushing coup d'etat in a 6-1 victory series. And the losers match will be against the teams that we lost today. The Unknown and versus coup d'etat, we're going to see those teams face it out once again tomorrow. But also we want to mention, you know, we want to ask you more questions with that, but we're going to continue on. Unfortunately, but we're going to continue. We're going to continue on from tomorrow. But so come back at 2 p.m. Korean Standard Time. We'll be back for more Blade and Soul action. The last part of semifinals will be starting tomorrow at 2 p.m. So we'll see you then.